Let's move forward, man.
Right. China.
What I just wear black.
I wanted to ask you. I mean, like I'm trying to figure out the end game. Like, what
Uh,
does it mean if, in fact, you know, black people was the first people? Is that like a badge of honor or something? I'm
it
just
what?
wondering.
No, it's part of the shit that's gonna get you in a cult.
Well, I'm asking questions.
What's the question again?
Is 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 okay? Black people being the first people on the planet, and everybody come from black people. Is that a badge of honor that we as black people all over the world should like?
Nah, man, that's
Proud?
Malachi York said that, yo.
That's what I was just wondering because he kept saying that the first people and this. I just wondered what the end game was with that. I'm curious.
Yeah, we ain't even connected to the court. Saying, Ren, what's up? Ren Rise, what's up?
Riz,
It's Rem Riz. It's Rem Riz.
Riz,
Rem Reese.
Riz.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does it mean?
Is that acronym? It means rich in spirit. Even though I don't believe in anything spiritual, I don't believe in anything supernatural.
So get it off there then. Why would you be playing with you? Yeah.
No, I just mean when someone says like, oh, you're in good spirits.
I got you. I got you.
That's what I mean. That's what it means to me.
All right, go ahead. I done seen you in the chat. What's up, man? Now you get to talk.
What's all this blackness that you're talking about? I think people need to use their own original ideas and stop repeating stuff that other people say.
Okay.
For example, people say that white people made up the racial classification, and I'm just like, no, that's not true. Just because they wrote it down doesn't mean that they're the ones that started it. Because are you trying to tell me when white people went to West Africa that the people that was native today, they didn't classify the white people? Because I can tell through language that that's not true. That they definitely classified the white people, and it's in the language. So we can't say that, oh, this is all made up by white people and the colonizer. Because if I'm a black person in West Africa and everyone around me is black, the first time I see a white person or when white people start coming around, are you going to tell me that they're not going to classify the people based on the way they look and say, why are these people white?
That's a good
Why
point.
are their hair straight?
That's a good point.
Aren't
It's
you
kind of
making
like
the point?
That happened. That's a fact. It's in the language. There's words for white people in their language, and if you go into what it means when they're calling white people white, it's very like it's like it's very obvious of that they classified them based on how they look.
because they were different, right? I mean, it's like in
So the word black is just it could be any word. It's just a classification. It doesn't matter. Black is just it could be any word. It's just a way of saying, oh, these people
Right.
they look like this and they have these features, and these other people who fit in this category they look like this and they have a.
But that ain't what we talking about. You know that ain't what we talking about, though, right? Just so you don't get mixed up. We're not.
Okay, what are you talking about then?
Because go ahead.
I just wanted to say, kind of like the Native American or indigenous peoples. I mean, I don't know how factual it is because I just you see it on television or whatnot. But they would call them pale face, like these people that didn't look like them. But I would just argue to say that, but it was a certain group of people that were able to. I don't know if the right word is popularize it. So and that wasn't necessarily the native peoples, meaning that it was the colonizers. They got to tell the story because they won the victory, so to speak.
No, the reason why the word black got so popularized.
I want to play this clip to answer your question. Listen closely. I'm gonna leave it to the experts. She's gonna give value to this conversation. Listen closely. I'm gonna do this.
these wild and wacky compromises that allow us to live in the extremities of the environment on the Earth's surface. Skin color has tremendous numbers of implications, tremendous for our health and social well-being. We pay attention to color. Color is important for us. We can't help but see color. That's one of the beauties of being an old world higher primate, is that we.
Okay, so the first portion of your question is we can't help but to see color. You said that. No one's disagreeing that they seen color. No matter who the hell walked in there, they seen the differences in getting color. We've said this a million goddamn times. I'm not specifically talking to you. I'm trying to show you how everybody is playing this wild game. Now, watch the rest of our explanation will help you understand what I'm trying to say, because obviously I'm talking in Chinese.
We have trichromatic color vision. But the fact that we see it doesn't mean that we judge it. The bald assessment of color is completely neutral and free of.
Just because we see it doesn't mean we judge it. This is where the rubber meets the damn road at, and this is where everybody is acting like they ain't hearing this.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean? That they didn't judge it.
They didn't judge what?
The fact that that person is white, they're ill-informed, they're ignorant, they're slow, and they're stupid and dumb.
I mean, that's just asinine. That's just a stupid statement that you just made. Because if
let me finish my point. So you're not listening to her. You didn't hear her. Just say, you know,
I did hear.
Just say I didn't understand her statement. Just say that, and we can have a better conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, dog. Like when I heard shit first couple, I didn't understand it. Just say, really, come on, bro. I'm trying to learn like you trying to learn, yo. And I don't suppose we know more than any of us, right? But at this point, I feel like I'm teaching right now. This moment, I know I'm definitely teaching because I understood what she said. What she was saying was they didn't have the racialized value to it. She didn't even have to use the word. She just said they didn't add value to that.
That's false. That's false.
That's fine.
That's false.
Listen, that's fine. But at least you understand what she said. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we can still discourse because you at least understand what she's saying. I appreciate that. You do not have to agree with her. This is not one of them situations you got to agree with her. But what you got to do is you got to go find somebody other than yourself to verify that. Let us finish. She's going to bring it home.
Any judgment. We only affix a value to color through behavior, through acculturation, through exposure to people who have views about color. I like, and this is one of the illustrations from my kids' book, I like to talk about the conditions that existed for much of the time in ancient Egypt.
Yo, Unc, can you pause it?
I did. I paused it right there.
Can I ask you? Let me ask you a question. You see what you just said, yeah?
Yeah, bro. That was deep.
That's a contradiction because
no.
She said let me wait. Let me explain. She said that I agree what she said, but is a contradiction because we have never experienced color without the acculturation. So we have to have. How can you? Have you ever seen someone, a human, and experienced them and seen their color, and they have no culture with them? They have no language. They don't have any dress sense. So how can you ever see color and not attach any value to it? When every time you see somebody, see the color, the person comes with a ethnicity, they come with a language and behaviors and everything. So how could you ever see color and not see any values in it? How could you attribute values to it?
Because humans didn't do it for 350,000. You got to let her finish her statement up because they actually didn't do that. Now you just can't understand it because you've been around people with that type of behavior. She said we have to be around people that exhibit those types of behaviors. And who was it? Who was the people? It was colonialism. They exhibited that type of behavior and it caught on like wildfire, bro. And it was used to enslave us. That's exactly what she's saying. Just say, I don't agree. I don't know how. Right. And then she's going to say that it's unfathomable that you would even understand this in the United States. That's what she said. Like, you can't imagine what she's saying right now. That's what she's saying. Let me finish it. Interesting.
As people lived along the extent of the Nile, from areas right on the Mediterranean here with moderate levels of UV to areas here in the tip of the Red Sea, close to the tip of the Red Sea in northern Sudan, with very, very high levels of ultraviolet radiation. So along the upper, the upper and the lower Nile, we see this tremendous gradient of UV radiation and this tremendous gradient of skin color among the various peoples and pharaohs of dynastic and pre-dynastic Egypt. People living along the Nile traded with one another regularly. They saw the difference in skin color. They depicted it in art along in sarcophaguses and in other murals along the Nile, but color did not distinguish one group from another in terms of anything but the bare color. There was no value associated with color. For us living in the United States right now, it's almost unfathomable to think that there was a time in human history, and in fact, most of human history, when we affixed no value to skin color. There were no connotations of skin color.
That don't make no sense what she's saying.
And that's fine. That's okay. But at least you heard what she said.
That makes no sense.
I know. She said it. She said it's going to be unfathomable to you.
No, she's just wrong. She's not making
okay, that's cool. Hey, listen, bro. Least, yo. I respect you, yo. I'm gonna give you that, yo. I ain't mad.
But okay, let me say something. You see in academia, yeah. You see in academia.
You get my point. You get my point, though, right?
The Romans had
I understand what
slaves from every ethnic group, but yet those different ethnic groups rose to generals in their armies, became high senators. Color at that period in history made no other distinction than a group. It had no value. You were not less or more because of your color. That concept,
let's
skin color is a post or is a colonial and
let's use logic. Let's use logic here.
We don't want to use
for example,
no. If we use
okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me
show you where your logic is flawed. Look, if we go outside, the earth ain't moving, yo. Think about when we go outside, the earth definitely ain't moving, yo. I'm sitting in my house, yo. This joint ain't moving. That's my logic, yo. Why? Because I ain't falling all over the place. And you know what? The sun is definitely traveling across the sky. I seen it. It was over here when I woke up in the morning. End up right there. It caught. Yeah, my logic get me in trouble, yo.
No, my logic never gets me in trouble. So let me explain what I'm saying. Yeah?
Explain the earth then. Explain why you can't feel the earth moving. Use your logic.
You'd have to use science.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
What do you mean?
Go ahead. And then she's using science, right? I want you to know that she's using science right now. She's not making a statement up, but you don't understand. That's fine. She said it's going to be unfathomable to you. Dude, I know you don't think that I'm sitting here saying that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm saying, yo, I gotta listen to the data, yo, to really get the power in her statement, yo. Like you think because we think that way that everybody has thought that way since the beginning of the time, yo.
She didn't present any data. She didn't present any data, so you can't say. Listen, she didn't present any data.
I know, but she has the data though, because her name is Nina Jablonski. She actually came up with a comprehensive theory on why your skin is that color. That's what you're looking at right there. Yeah, her work is right there. She's at the top level with that work. So all you would have to do is just go ahead and prove that she's wrong. And what you'll find is that yes, she's going to finish saying that humans are great at putting stuff in categories, yo. So the idea that you want to talk about be like my language, Like the Egyptians did it. They felt like that their language and their culture and their gods was better than yours. They definitely thought that they had a superior culture, right? They definitely thought that. So you think she's saying that nobody felt like they were superior? They just used other things, bro. It wasn't the skin color. That's what she's
That-
saying. I want you to get the whole scope of what she's saying, and I can let me finish it, and you'll see that she's saying something that I think you're getting mixed up with. You're basically saying that, hold on, man. There's plenty. That don't make no sense because I know you would think that this is superior in that. They do got things that they felt like was superior. Here you go. Look.
That is the case. Humans are very, very good at discriminating according to language and dress and, perceived barbarity. But for most of human history, those boundaries were not drawn on the basis of skin color.
Yeah, yo, there you go. That's the check piece for
Okay,
that, go, bro.
no, it's
She
not.
finished
It's
you
really
off
not.
with that. She did you good, yo. She got you.
She really did it. Because okay, let's go for example. Yeah, if you look at the Romans, yeah, if you look at the Romans, yeah,
Yeah.
if you look at the writings of the Romans, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they are distinguishing between the complexion of different white people. So, for example, they'll let's say they have they write about how they don't like certain groups of people, and they write about one of the things that they don't like attribute to them is their complexion. Yeah. So, for example, let's say I go to war with people from Sudan, and they're much darker than me. You think I'm not gonna attribute any value to the fact that their darkness has anything to do with where they're from?
You incoherent. You don't know the hell you saying right now.
Okay, let's say I'm a European. Yeah.
Did you understand yourself? Hold on. You got to understand you. Sometimes, did you understand yourself? Explain to yourself what you just meant.
Explain to myself. I'm talking. What do you mean explain to yourself?
I know, but explain that. What do you mean?
I mean, you cannot. There's no way to not attribute value to someone's color because the color is coming in a human, and the humans all have behaviors. She said that we attribute the value to the behaviors, but all humans have a color, and all humans have a behaviors. So the question I want to ask you is, when do you experience color without the behaviors, without the culture and things? When do you ever experience color and it doesn't come with behaviors, culture, and all these other things?
The Romans didn't.
What's the value of the color of your eyes? What's the value of the color of your eyes?
Well, certain eye colors will tell you the descent of or where people are from.
No. So, I ask you, what is the value? How do you place value on skin color, but not on hair or eye color? How is there a value on skin color?
There is. For example, there is, because for example, people with red hair, they were very discriminated against in Europe. Very much they were discriminated.
So that's your hair, right?
Yeah.
And what time period? They discriminated based off your hair.
Yeah.
We talking about skin, yeah?
He just asked about
hair. We said skin. Don't move it.
Did he not just move it to eye color? Did he not just move it to eye color?
No, he just said the skin. Y'all looking at the person's skin. It wasn't.
I'm trying to explain.
Go ahead, Cedric.
I'm trying to explain to you, my brother, your causation correlation fallacy. There are different phenotypes of people that per group exhibit different types of behavior. The value of your skin color had no value up until we are dealing with colonialism. Then your skin color had value. You were just of a particular group, and the things that gave value to that group was language, their ability to hunt, whether they had minerals, how sophisticated the culture was, whether they were violent, yes or no. And it had nothing to do with your skin color, but your cultural attributes. That's why we could see throughout history that even when in the Roman and the Greek times, that they have generals of different phenotypes, different color, because your skin color didn't have that value. You were not less or more. You were not black.
That's not a good argument. That's not a good argument when you say stuff like, "Oh, they had rulers of different complexions." Humans are the most contradictory people. Human contradictions exist all the time. You can't say because they had a leader, they had a leader that was this complexion. That means they didn't discriminate against people because of complexion. That makes no sense. We know that humans are so contradictory and do stuff like that all the time.
Nah. So no, you know it. So let me ask you, brother, what research have you done to verify that?
On what?
She's done to verify your statements. You say we know this, and I'm saying obviously we don't. It's like
so we don't know that humans.
No, we don't. No,
we don't know that humans make contradictions. We don't know that humans.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Wait. We don't know that during. Yes. We don't know that during a time when people were being discriminated against race, that some people were able to do things that majority of people of their race weren't able to do. We don't have that recorded in history.
I know. What are you talking about? You make it coherent in the conversation that you just made us get.
Is there any point in history where a group is being discriminated against, and people from that have that are part of that group are able to maybe like climb the social hierarchy despite being part of the group that's been discriminated against? Do we have that in history?
Yeah, we do.
So is that not a contradiction?
That's called colonialism.
Okay, so So wait.
Point where it's not in the literature, it's not there like you think. It's not, bro. So you would have to find that. That's the point. That you
do you understand
that? I understand what you're saying. I'm saying the lady told you for 350,000 years, yo. And she said humans are great at making categories, but there was no attitudes derived from skin. That value system wasn't placed on skin yet, bro. And she said it's uncomfortable for you to understand that. So you're doing exactly what she said. You're like, that's crazy. You did it. You did exactly what she said. So what you need to do is you need to find that. Don't be like everybody else. Start finding different stuff. They use the word black, they use the word red. Like, nah. That ain't the conversation. Conversation is clear. Show me indigenous tribe that place value on skin color. You know what I'm saying? That racialized the damn thing, right? And put you at the bottom of the barrel because you was black and the top of the barrel because you was white. Go find that. You're not going to find that. And we never speak in absolutes. There's going to be one guy somewhere over in.
We don't even have writings for these people. We don't have writings for these people. So what are you talking about? We don't even have writings for these people.
So if we don't have none of that, then what are we talking about then? You're guessworking right now.
Are you serious? You don't have writings for these people.
So you said they don't got. So if they don't got writings, then we will never know that. Then will we?
So how did she make the claim then?
You see, she didn't make a claim. She made it based off of the available information and everything. Are
you serious?
Absolutely.
She said that she's making an absolute claim. She's actually making. I'm not even making an absolute claim. She's making an absolute claim that that something never happened.
So this is what you want to do. You want to argue with me. You have brought absolutely nothing to the table. You're just talking a good game. And I'm telling you, bro, that's why the conversations get crazy. So why don't you just go ahead and help yourself out? Help yourself get clear on this issue. I'm clear on this issue. I don't have a problem with attributing racism to white people. You seem to. Not me. I think they did bring that behavior in that color value system. I'm comfortable with that. But if you want to make black people the origin of that, then go find evidence for it. And don't tell me they wasn't writing. Man, go interview somebody to speak that. I don't know what you're going to do. You need to do it, though, because that's a hell of a claim you're about to make. You're the one with the claim. Trust me, you trying to find some black people that put value on that and made them better because of their dark skin. Yeah, you're putting racism on them, and you're saying that they're the authors of that. And I'm saying, no, it's not. I didn't
even say that. I said people attributed values to people based on attributes, including their skin color.
What tribe?
What?
What tribe? Or you just use
What tribe?
Yeah, what's the name of the tribe? You act like you know, or you just talking? Which one is it? What's the name of the tribe?
I'll give it Yoruba. Yoruba.
That's how you gonna do? Just call out a name, yeah.
What do you mean just call out a name? I'm Yoruba. What do you mean just call out a name? Yeah.
So you Yoruba. All right. So what you saying?
You asked me a question. I give you an answer.
What's the answer? What's the answer? The Yoruba what? Let me hear you say it. Let me get you on tape. The Yoruba what?
What?
What about the
You want the word?
What about the Yoruba? No.
You want the word?
No, I don't want the word yet. What did they do with the word you about to tell me?
They just attributed certain things to. I'll give you an example.
A certain what? What are you saying? I'm going to hear you clearly.
They have a word for white people, and they attributed certain things to it. They put certain value on it.
And when was this?
They associate it with certain things.
And what was this before white people or after? Don't mess this up.
Do you heard the question that you just asked me?
I'm asking you, was it before white? You said it. You said, yeah. They have a word for white people, and they had a value to it. I said, bet. Is that word prior to colonialism or after it, during it? What?
It's when they experience white people.
Okay.
When they come into contact with them.
All right, thank you. Thank you. But before then, it wasn't there, huh?
How can you have a word for white people and
Why not? Why not? You had.
Because you never seen them before. You never seen them before.
So
how can you
wait. Are you saying the Arabs wasn't in West Africa? Arabs can be light skinned. Definitely lighter than West Africans. Are you playing with me right now? I thought you knew about the 800.
So wait. So wouldn't they be in the category of white people?
Yeah, but based off what you're saying, yeah. So I'm asking you said before white people. I ain't trying to get you. We're trying to learn something here. So is that word pre-colonial during the Arabs' time? We know the Arabs wasn't necessarily doing that. But go ahead.
Doing what?
Placing color value on things like we've been talking about all day. That wasn't necessarily what they was doing. Specifically like colonialism was. So you saying it was a word that they had in the Yoruba. You sure?
So wait, stop.
Got a dictionary?
Stop. Wait. You trying to say the Arabs were not racializing people?
Not necessarily. Nope. I'm gonna stand on that. Yep. I'm standing on that because you had plenty of brown and dark skinned people that came with the Arabs. That's been there because Arabia, look where it's located. You definitely got all complexion of people in Arabia, yo. That's crazy to think. Here, I'm gonna show you. Let me show you this. They ain't have a problem with them. Obviously not. That's later on. That's definitely later on, yo.
So wait. The what's it called? The thingy. The what's it called?
The what?
The curse of Canaan.
That's biblical, yo. That ain't got nothing to do with. That's biblical. They ain't had nothing to do with African people. That's got something to do with in that area.
So wait, are you trying to tell me the Arabs didn't, and the North Africans they didn't use the curse of Canaan? They didn't.
That ain't got nothing to do with black people, yo.
How is the curse of Canaan nothing to do with black people?
Because yo, have you ever read a biblical map? They ain't even don't know about them areas.
Do you know about the Jewish interpretation of the curse of Canaan?
That's later on. That's after colonialism, yo.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Yeah,
the Hamitic curse is what y'all talking about?
Yeah. That's
had nothing to do with Africa or black people until during the time period of slavery to justify slavery.
Yeah, here you go. Arabia. Look at Arabia. Arabia ain't nothing but brown people in Arabia. Look, can you see the map? Ain't nothing but brown people in Arabia, yo. Yeah, they get look at Arabia.
How do we get here? How much longer do we have to?
We don't.
Can you blow that up so we can see Arabia? I'm trying to play along with you. Can you blow that up?
Okay, go ahead, play along. Wait when y'all done.
No, we done playing. Y'all see it? Can y'all see that?
Point it out for people.
You take your cursor and like circle it.
See? Can I circle it? Y'all can't see that, yo.
No, we're not seeing.
This ain't bigger. I don't know how to make it no bigger than this.
No, we don't see a cursor.
Oh.
It's fine.
Y'all know where Arabia
And
is, though,
just
right?
take a look.
And
Horn
y'all
of Africa. Does anybody know where the horn is? Yeah. Yeah, we got to do this because geography seems to be a problem. Y'all see where Egypt is? Y'all see where West Africa is?
Uh-huh.
I rest my. Y'all see the United States? Look how big Egypt is. Look how big Egypt is. Just Egypt. What's the diversity in the United States?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Man, boy, I'm just trying to tell you. So yeah, you don't got ain't no white people there, dog. Like
Yeah.
them Arabs is pretty brown, yo. So remember though, yo, it's not me that's wrong. You're not even challenging me, yo. You're actually, you challenging
Oh man.
yeah,
Cognitive dissonance.
yeah, you challenging the scientists, bro. You ain't challenging me, yo. That's real. So I don't know why y'all thought people in rape. Hey, Juju, didn't we read a whole article on the coming of people from Arabia? Did we not read that whole thing on blackness and talked about that?
Yeah, that's in the Soy Kiata piece.
Yeah, I don't gotta read that again, yo. Like he talked.
We also talked about how Arabs
The
coming into Africa
diversity
also
after the
got.
admixture.
Can I finish?
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
it didn't work one way. It wasn't that Arabs came to Africa and just Arabized everybody. A lot of times they also got, how shall I say, absorbed into the culture or whatnot. So I think that's a main whole misconception. And again, it's giving too much power and agency to people that shouldn't have it. Yeah. But yeah, that was so chaotic.
You see, here I'm reading a comment by D. Erwin. The diversity came after the admixture. There
The
was
what?
never
The
a
what?
point in time. The diversity in phenotypes came after the admixture. I think, and I'm going to blame my good brother Reggie for this, because he keeps talking as if there was one monotype African at one point in time. Then you do not understand evolution. Like, there was never one singular group of Homo sapiens sapien. There was it's an evolving process. If you look at the whole, at the group, if you would put it all on a line, there is no point that you can say here, at this point, here's where humans start. We cannot say that. It doesn't work this way. There was never one phenotype, one singular type. There was always this process of reproduction by means of alleles forming and genes coming together. There was always a diversity. There was always a diversity in Homo sapiens sapien. I'm going to say it again. There was never one singular Homo sapiens sapien phenotype or group. There were bottlenecks that occurred later on, which isolated particular groups, which gave rise to particular phenotypes that we see now predominant in certain areas, but there was never one singular phenotype. Like, I don't get how hard that is to understand. That's just human evolution.
Yeah, I guess it is. Here go map again. I'm gonna show y'all again. Here you go. Y'all can see this better. Here you go. Y'all underestimating. Y'all see Arabia now? You see that, Miss Tiff? Saudi
Yep.
Arabia. Y'all see it, right?
Okay. Yep.
Take a minute. Y'all see Somalia? Y'all see Ethiopia? Um
Mhm.
Y'all see the equator? See the Sahara? See that dotted line? Look, it's the equator go right through here. Look, there go Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia. There go Egypt, Sudan. Now look, walk straight across from Sudan to Eritrea, cross the sea. That's Arabia. And I'm gonna show you this. Look at this. All right,
Mhm.
see the colors on that. See,
Mhm.
there you go. So those people aren't white people. The lighter people at the top. See the tan colors, and then go all the way up to the top of the map, and then you see the would be the look. But look at the. That's why I say when everybody hollering black, then damn, then the majority of the earth will be black people. Look. The majority of the earth is in these zones. It's in zone 1 and 2. Why? Because humans start out with no clothes on, yo. You can't even get up there, right? Until you develop clothing because it gets cold. You're not hanging out in Italy in the damn wintertime, yo, without no invention of clothes, yo. Yeah, y'all miss all that. Y'all think humans came out fully prepared. They came out fully prepared to survive in nature. They didn't come out fully prepared to go ahead and invent some shit and start. No, they didn't come out fully prepared to drive a car, yo. It takes steps to get to those points. Somebody got scissors? What is that? Somebody cutting with scissors. Jesus Christ.
I think
Anyway,
Cedric.
Cedric, you funny with that. That was hilarious. Anyway, learn your math. They go India. Y'all see India, right? Yeah, you funny. You was look. Y'all see India? Y'all know how dark people New Delhi? Look, you got Pakistan. Look, and we come over to the map. Look, look at India. Look at India. See? People brown, man. So I don't know. Right? Y'all, if it's gonna be the blackness, then make sure all these people in the brown that y'all call them black. That's the game. Australia, South America, North America, India, Cambodia, all those islanders. See that? There you go. So let's just play. Don't play it fair now. Don't play it one way. See? And we say all this to say what? Why is we saying all this? Why are we saying all this? Because I'm saying that's the foundation of the code. Back to the code conversation. You can't get out your own way. You can't see it. Yeah. You can't see it. No, I mean, I don't know what to say. And this is a recipe for a code right here. This right here, not being able to get this worked out, is the code.
Is it the racialized term black versus the skin tone? Is that what it is?
That wouldn't be the argument because they already said the Egyptians range in skin color, so that can't be y'all argument. They already admit that. They already said that. So I know we can't argue that. They've already agreed to that. They've already agreed to that. I can pull up anything. Juju, where you at, Ju? I know you hate doing it, Juju.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I know you hate doing it, but you remember coming back with some raw data, right? And raw data said this. Look, you're gonna remember it. Watch this, Juju. Watch this. Look, came back with this raw data right here. Man, this gonna show. You see it, Juju?
Oh yeah.
What's this, Juju? You want to read this? Can you see
Yeah,
it?
this from the Boston Museum of Fine Arts.
What it say? God damn.
It talks about ancient Egypt. I got the same picture.
Huh? See, raw data says what though?
Yeah,
What it
and
say?
it just says ancient Egypt, a multicultural African civilization. And I want to know, we don't know, hopefully one day we will find out, but our suspicions is, I'm going to add this, is Deborah Hurd may have had something to do with this curation, being that she was doing curation at this particular museum, Boston Museum of Fine Arts. It's literally in her bio. So
Uh-huh.
Located at the crossroads of modern day Africa, Europe, and Asia, ancient Egypt was a place of great cultural exchange. The first settlers in the Nile Valley were an indigenous African people who laid their foundations for the distinctive Egyptian civilization that would flourish in the area for 5,000 years. At various points in time, Africans from Nubia and Libya, as well as Semites, Persians, Greeks, and Romans, all adopted Egyptian customs, particularly their beliefs in divine kingship and the afterlife, and made their own contributions to Egyptian culture.
So they use the word indigenous Africans. I know. I didn't make that shit up, and everybody fight me.
No, I mean,
They ain't saying white Egyptians. They ain't saying black Egyptians. They saying indigenous Egyptians. Then they talk about in order. They talk about they put it in
correct.
chronological order: Nubia, Libya. Then it says they're the Africans, Nubians and Libyans,
Hmm.
as well as Semites, Persians, Greeks, and
Greeks
Romans.
and
And
Romans.
that is in chronological order.
Right.
For the record, in case y'all wouldn't know that, I know it. It's in chronological order. The Persians come after the Semites. The Greeks come after the Persians. The Romans come after the Greeks. Keep going, Juju.
Yeah, I just want to say I think there's something also that people don't pick up when you're trying to tell them when you see a list in something that has to do with like a museum, they're definitely doing in chronological order because it is something that you can actually, take and go study. Like it's a part of the scholarship. So just remember that. I think that's important. The ancient Egyptians positioned themselves as a civilization superior to all others.
Stop. They the what? What did it say? The Egyptians did what?
Positioned themselves
As what?
a civilization superior to all others.
And they gonna watch. So this is what they was doing instead of doing the skin color thing. For everybody who ain't understanding it, since y'all want to put the stuff that African Americans do based off of being meshed in with colonialism, go ahead. Royal
So
propaganda.
royal propaganda
Do y'all know what royal propaganda is? Go ahead.
portrayed Egyptian enemies as caricatures.
Oh,
The features
exactly.
exaggerated to emphasize their otherness.
So hold on. So you mean to tell me we was thinking those exaggerated features that we see on the news was really the features just because it looked like the racist characters that they was putting up?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, y'all didn't know that, did y'all? See, that's that. See,
during
Juju,
the
see, we teaching now.
times of Jim Crow Reconstruction and all that.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
Um,
Last time we read this, I promise you.
I know it.
Serious, yo. I just
I
want
don't
to show. So
believe
when
you.
Jabari Holland
I don't
screamed
believe you.
that I wasn't teaching that Egypt was in this nigga, this I've been doing this
Mm-mm-mm.
last damn near fit. Like it's horrible at this point. It's cult like.
I think this is an important piece that I'm getting into Nubian enemies, because I think I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, they."
Did
I've
you
heard
finish
people say
off? Finish off
they
what
were
you said?
racist. No, but I'm saying Nubian enemies, for example, were often depicted with darker skin to distinguish them from Egyptian figures. Yet there is no evidence that the Egyptians based their superiority on physical characteristics such as skin color. Instead, they would have differentiated themselves from other cultures much more on the basis of language, religion, and other customs.
So were they just trying to hide this or something?
Mm.
They don't want to tell you that the indigenous African people was actually racist. Is that what they're trying to hide from y'all? Wouldn't it be the other way around? That it wasn't us that came with the racism. It was actually them indigenous Africans. It really was the first people to promote racism. Wouldn't
Wow.
they say that? Why would
They
they
would,
protect
they would
these
say that.
indigenous people from that? Why are they carrying like a badge of honor that we the ones that did it? What value would that be?
Hmm.
Make it make sense. Keep going. So now we know, right? That no matter what y'all say, right? Instead of the skin color thing, right? I tell you what they did. They would have differentiated themselves from others, from other culture, much more on the basis of the language, the religion, and other customs. Man, that's what they was doing, yo.
So in the 19 so in the 19th and early 20th centuries, American and European Egyptologists who excavated ancient sites in the Nile Valley, including George A. Reisner, the former MFA curator who led the Harvard University Boston Museum of Fine Arts expedition, developed pseudoscientific claims
He did
in
what?
an attempt.
Do you
He
know who
developed.
Reisner was? Do they know who Reisner was? He the one
I
who
know who
did the
Reisner
Nubian
was.
stuff.
Go ahead and tell him about him.
He the one
But
that did the Nubians, the digs in Nubia. And he
exactly.
said that I got the book right in front of my face.
Mhm.
Said that the Negroes were slaves, just like the Negroes were slaves in America. That's what he said. He the one that came up with that. And he the one was sitting around dinner with his comrades and say, we're gonna call them Nubians. I promise you.
Mhm.
I lie to you not. I don't know what restaurant they was at. They just said, we're gonna call them
Mhm.
all one. We're gonna call all these tribes in the South Nubians. I promise you, yo. I ain't making that up.
I believe that. I mean, he was
I ain't
from
making that up.
Harvard. He was leading Harvard. He was curating at one of the most prestigious museums in the country. So, who wouldn't have listened to him, right?
I
He
ain't
is the
made it up.
one of the foremost leading experts of Egyptology of that time.
I got the book to you. Reisner's account. But go ahead.
So they said develop pseudoscientific claims. This is Reisner they're speaking of.
Pseudoscience.
In an attempt to prove that the Egyptians were not purely African. Remember, Reisner was also one of the people that said that they had to be Western Asian, right? They came from the West, Bobby, or they were outsiders.
Yeah, right. No, that was the other one said that. That was
Petrie?
Petrie. Yep.
Okay.
Keep going.
This theory informed by racist beliefs that indigenous peoples were incapable of developing such a sophisticated civilization is now categorically rejected.
Let's say which
Museums
rejected. Which rejected?
categorically rejected.
The pseudoscientific claims is rejected. But why y'all keep doing it?
Pseudoscientific claims, of
Yeah,
course.
it's rejecting. Y'all keep promoting pseudoscientific claims like black. That's a pseudoscientific claim. Just for the record. So did y'all understand that? That's a social construct. Not only a social construct, but a pseudoscientific social construct. Having nothing to do with the love of your black skin. Did you have following the leader, said, it's my beautiful. You got to say it. Because you fighting it. There's a reason why we use because we fighting against colonialism when we say that. We taking a negative and making it positive. That's why we doing it. But if you never was in that position where you even thought your skin was ugly, you know what I'm saying? Then you wouldn't have to fight that thing. But keep going. Categorically
Yes.
rejected.
Yes. So it's just categorically rejected. Museums, including the MFA, which means Museum of Fine Arts, once played a role in perpetuating this misconception, bringing to the forefront the art and history of Egypt while obscuring and misinterpreting that of its neighbors. With new discoveries and more open-minded reading of Egyptian sources, we are now better able to understand the intertwined history of civilizations in the Nile Valley.
Yeah, I ain't doing it no more, yo.
And that piece still stands on the wall. If you walk in there now and you go through all the exhibits, I believe the Egypt exhibit's towards the back because I went through everything else and that was the last thing. And then I literally got kicked out. That's still on the wall. Like it's right there on your right. Can't miss it.
It's crazy, yo.
Oh man.
Oh, you put that there? Go ahead.
Oh, it says, what's wrong with them just being African? Why do we feel the need to label black on them? I guess that's what it was meant to, or lace black on them.
Shout out, Fontaine.
Anyway, go ahead. I know Africa is just an anthropological designation for ancient Egyptians. They didn't call themselves that. Tell us what they call themselves, okay?
The Remish.
Exactly. They did call themselves the Remnant.
At this point, I'm delirious.
The children of the Tears of Ra, or something like that. But definitely from the Tears of Ra.
Yeah, Remember, yo.
Yo, Unc. So when are you saying all this blackness thing started?
It's like,
Huh? What? What you mean, yo? What you mean?
I think we're
Wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait, wait.
different things,
Uh,
though.
Yeah, we're talking about different things. The Egyptians had, if you really study Egyptian culture, they had a whole thing for black and what it meant to them. Actually, they blackness doesn't tie it to the people. Their blackness ties them to their religion and the thing to sustain their life.
no,
Right?
but I'm saying,
Cool,
you're
Clovis.
saying
So
that the negativity about blackness or the racial. When did it start? That's what I'm asking.
with colonialism,
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah, it started with that wild shit. They
No,
wild
what?
out.
So what's like 13?
Yeah, 1300s. Yeah, and when they first start going with those intercontinental ships, and Charles Darwin took some of them ideas with him.
So what
And
about the third and fourth century?
the what?
The third and fourth century.
The what century?
The third and fourth century.
The third and fourth.
What about it? You talking about 100, 300 CE? What
Yeah,
you talking about? What about
yeah.
it? That's
So
Greek
you
time period. It's Rome. It's in Rome. What you got? You took time
so
out. What you got?
the curse of Ham thing is very old. It's
Huh?
prior to that.
Yeah, but they ain't even, you ever seen a biblical map before? You know that, right? I know you don't. Where do you think Africa was, yo? What do you think Africa was in that time? They hadn't even explored Africa, yo.
They lit-
You ain't know that? Yo,
they literally said that that Noah's son was cursed to be black, and that's why all his descendants are black.
you messing it up somewhere along the line. You messing it up.
Oh,
Send it right here.
Is this the first time you're hearing this?
Now let's figure it out right now. Let's do it. We can do it right here. I
is
don't
that the
mind.
biblical
Uh,
narrative?
Let's do it
yeah.
in real time. Let's do it in real time. What you
So
got?
that's the Talmudic. But
The Talmud.
It's religion.
I can quote you the people that started writing it. You can look it up.
I don't know. All right. So you want to talk about the Talmud? Judaism, early legend. Okay. While Genesis 9 never says the hand was black. Oh shit! You die right there like that. Like that, yo. You live
Carry
Wikipedia.
on reading. Carry on reading.
You let Wikipedia catch you like that. I can't even get out the first line.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Let's
It's not
see.
the.
Let's just see.
It's not the.
Let's just see. Can we just see? Can we read together? Can we learn something together? Is that possible, yo? Why do we always got to
I already read this already.
Okay, so you read this and you coming with that? While Genesis never says that hand was black. I already know that because I was in a cult, remember? Or somewhere close to the shit. They used to play
Carry
that
on
game
reading. Carry on reading.
was black. He became associated with black skin through folk etymology. You know what that is? If you don't know what it is, you can't even read the rest of it. But I'm gonna let you stay right there. Well, look, deriving his name from a similar but actually unconnected word meaning dark or brown. You want to read it again? While Genesis 9 never says the hand was black, he became associated with black skin. So that means that the Hebrews never even said that. Okay? With black skin through folk etymology. Folk etymology, also known as generative popular etymology, meaning some wild people put it together.
What's your
Deriving
point? How did
his name,
how did I?
look, deriving his name from a similar but actually unconnected word meaning dark or brown. The next stage are certain fables according to ancient Jewish tradition. According to one legend preserved that the Babylonian Talmud, God cursed Ham because he broke what? A prohibition on sex abroad aboard the ark and was smitten in his skin. According to another, Noah cursed him because he was what? Castrated his father. Come on, yo. How's this helping you, bro? All jokes aside, I just want you to know that I tried to say the way we get caught up in cults is by not even understanding the
Are
historical
you serious? Are you joking or something?
I mean, what are you missing here, yo? It ain't got nothing to do with the black skin. They
Are you,
said it ain't nothing to do with it. It says it. They want to say it's not. Look, Wild Jens and I never says that. So if it never said he had black skin, then he couldn't have been cursed because it was black skin because they never said he had it in that. What am I?
okay, let me explain. Let me explain it. Let me explain
You
it.
gonna
Let me
explain
explain.
never? And now we gotta argue for a
Oh
whole
my
year
god.
with the
Oh
word
my
never.
god.
What does
Let
never
me
mean?
explain it.
Oh my god.
Let me
Go
explain it.
ahead.
Let me explain it. The text, listen, the text, yeah, the text doesn't say it. Listen, I don't know why you're laughing because this is weird. The text doesn't say it, but it became part of the tradition later. That's what it's saying. So what's funny? How does it not prove my point? My point is that it's happening earlier than you're saying it. You're saying it's happening in the 1300s. So why are you laughing?
According to one legend preserved in the Babylonian Talmud, God cursed Ham. So you saying you want to date on that, yo? You gonna let
No,
me
I'm
run your
saying
mama to the brick wall? You just want to look. The concepts were introduced. Look, during the Arab expansion in the 7th century due to cross pollination of Jewish and Christian parables and theology into Islam called I can't even read that word. I can't even read that word, man. But nobody was thinking it was a scandal, yo. That's the issue. I thought we was talking about that. Just for the record, we wasn't talking about that. Let's say the of drunkenness of Noah and the curse of Ham are not present within the text of the Quran. Man, come on, yo. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. I'm just saying, yo, being around this stuff, I heard all of it promoted this way. They promoted that Ham had the black skin. That's why he was cursed. I do it as a joke. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The only black people is Ham, and they curse him. I'm doing it. I'm the Egyptians. They curse him. That's how we used to say it, yo. You know what I mean? Like, come on, yo. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not accurate to say what you're trying to say. That's all the point I'm trying to bring to you. And I thought like you thought until I actually dove into it and looked it up. Now, since we dove into it, you can clearly see that they wasn't even talking about Ham, black skin at all. So that kills.
Who wasn't?
Stop right there.
He wasn't.
It never says that he was black, yo.
Who?
The text itself.
But that's not my point, though. My point is the people that came after and started it.
The people like who? Not in the Talmud. They didn't say it. Who said it? Who you think said that?
Okay, let me get you the names of the people that wrote it.
And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Ham, the name Ham. What you think the name Ham mean, yo? Why are you
It's
playing?
irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. It's not. That's important.
It is irrelevant.
So you trying to say Ham? No, it's irrelevant to you. It ain't
The connection to blackness has everything to do with the misuse of Ham's name.
It doesn't, because it's not about the text. It's about the people that came after the text.
Okay.
And started adding their interpretation of the text.
Yeah, I heard you.
Bro, but you using the text. The text doesn't say that. They misinterpret
I'm not using the text. Listen to the words I'm saying. Listen to the words I'm saying.
You don't gotta yell. It means hot. It means hot, yo. It means hot. The word ham means hot. The word ham means hot. The word
Okay. Let me quote the people. Let me quote the people.
Ham means
Wab ibn Munabif. Yeah. He said this is the interpretation of the
beef. Why we want to beef? I ain't trying to beef with you, brother.
No, Wab ibn Munabif. Yeah. Wab ibn Munabif.
I don't want to be in the beef. I don't want to be in the beef.
Okay, wait. This is what he says. I am the son of Noah. This is interpretation of the same thing. I am the son of Noah was a white man. No, Ham, the son of Noah, was a white man with a handsome face and a fine figure. And Almighty God changed his color and the color of his descendants in response to his father's curse. He went away, followed by his sons, and they settled by the shore where God increased and multiplied them. They are the blacks.
All right, what's his name?
Yeah, that's the Muslim saying it. Yeah.
Okay, what's his name? What's his name again? I don't want
WAHB.
All right, hold on. W what? Go ahead.
WAHB.
WAHB.
Yeah.
Same
Ibn
word.
IBN.
IB.
BN. MUNA.
MUNA.
Well, you putting spaces between it, yeah?
No space. I'm putting spaces. I got WAHB space IBN space MUNA.
Yeah, BBIH.
BB a space. So MUNA space what?
No space. MUNABBIH.
All right. And what did he do?
That's what he wrote.
He wrote what?
Well, I just read about his interpretation of the curse of Ham story.
That's his interpretation, though.
He's
That's not what was written.
He's just saying that the fact that he did it was racism. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying I'm saying these ideas are prevalent, and they go back a lot further than we're saying that they go back. That's what I'm saying. So
that's 1,000. So that's the 9th century.
This is
1,000.
That's
1,000. That's 1,000.
This is modern history, though.
It's cited in context in pre-modern. It says the pre-modern conception of race and the curse of Ham, according to the 9th century scholar Ibn Qutam Habib, related an interpretation of the story of Noah that stated Noah's son Ham was originally white, but was later cursed by God, cursing Ham's skin and that of his descendants to turn black. It say this curse was said to have made Ham the ancestors of dark-skinned people, including the Ethiopians, the Nubians, the Copts, and the Berbers, who were, according to other Islamic traditions, all descendants of slaves. All right. So that's 1,000. So go ahead. That's 1,000 AD, 9th century.
Yeah.
9th century would be all the way up to 999, some shit like that. The last day of that really be like 1,000. 999. But go ahead. So you saying what?
I'm saying that's before colonialism.
Okay. And
that's you said it started in colonialism.
Okay, so you got one thing. Okay, but how does that help your argument though?
That's my whole argument. That it's like
nope. You know what your argument was. That's not changing what argument was.
No, this is just to show that it goes back further than the before 1300s. That's what I'm saying.
You went back 100 years, yo.
I can keep going back.
Well, you should have started all the way back. Don't start close to the time periods I was saying, yo. 1300s. I said 1300s. You say 1,000. All right, okay. I ain't finished investigating this whole thing, but that's one person. But was that widespread? Obviously not. And that's after Islam then ran all up in place and all that. Come on, yo. They done thrown out of Spain and all that shit. All that shit when he started coming up with that. And was his idea spread all over? And then it's a misinterpretation of the text. So
but it doesn't matter because it did spread. It did spread all over.
Nah, man, come on, man. The Bible wasn't even talking about Africa. It was talking about the Roman Africa.
What relevance is that? We're talking about Islam. You're talking about what the Bible says. We're talking about a Muslim. We're talking about a Muslim
Okay, that's
writing
one
Islamic
Muslim.
literature. You're talking
So
to me about the Bible.
so that's one person writing though.
But okay,
How does that help widespread racism? What you trying to promote? And then wasn't even your thing. Your thing was it indigenous people was. Since when was Arabs indigenous to Africa? That was our whole argument was. And you found the person who ain't indigenous to Africa that messes up a whole religious text. He's just wild wrong. The text don't even say that. He came with his own idea. So there you go. You found the guy, right, who messed up the religious text, right, that we all learned in the conscious community that was saying that they was actually black. That's why we got that from. That is that code information right there. Now we follow the claim that the code information was by an outsider claiming that Ham had dark skin, and Ham ain't had nothing to do with African people at all. But that's how we learned it in the conscious community, right back to that code information. So it wasn't no indigenous people that said that once again. Yeah, you can get you got me at 1,000. You creeping. So now what? Now we see how the Yoruba. You said the Yoruba.
No. Hold on.
Arabs weren't even looking white. Arabs weren't white. They Semitic people. Arabia, Rome, like the word.
Do you want this article?
You got to put it in the back.
Wait, hold on. Can I just tell you the?
You can put it right there. Can't you see it?
I don't know if I go on my phone, it might come out. Because it goes through the history of it. It starts with it goes through for the Greeks or Romans, then it goes to the Jews. It talks about how it talks about Ethiopians prefer darker women with snub nose, and the Persians approve pale, more the whitest woman with hook nose. I'm just saying, yeah. All I'm saying is that people
skin color, man.
Yeah. It says the Ethiopians prefer the darker one. They say that the darker people are more beautiful, and the Persians say that the whitest are more beautiful. Hello?
I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So I didn't even bring in the word racism or anything like that. All I'm saying.
No, but that's what I thought we was talking about, yo.
No, I'm saying people attach value to people based on color. Okay, because they attribute color.
Man, you late. You in the Islamic time period, yo. That's late in history, yo. Come on, yo. God damn, come on, yo. Just like she said, yo. And you listen to the whole lecture, yo. She started giving you when people started racing shit up, making races and all that, and she get deep into it, yo. Yeah, so like I said, we never speak in absolutes. And I thought I said that because you're gonna always find some wild dude, and that's what you did. You found the wild guy, just like I knew. Found the wild guy. That's why I'm speaking absolutes.
Are you serious? Like, do you know about the?
I'm gonna cut it in because I don't think it's even fair. Your initial point was that the Hermetic curse was referencing Africans. I want to remind the chat that since I got so much to say.
No, you don't read the chat. Stay out the chat.
I'm gonna be in it. And we offered,
my initial point was that what?
There was a correction made by a pseudo killer. And that's fine, but we're sticking on the Hermetic
correction curse. About what? About
about the Arabs using the Hermetic curse, but
no, it was one guy. They didn't even say
exactly.
They agreed with that.
It was not.
They said they agreed with that.
It wasn't the whole culture. It was very much.
Are you serious? Do you know about?
Y'all be taking stuff and running with it. No, but I just wanted to get back where the goalposts originally started. The goalposts originally started that Hermetic curse was indeed for Africans, and that is not the case. That's
who said that?
Man, them Arabs eased their way into it, yo. Remember they enslaved Africans first. They eased their way into it, and then by the time colonialism actually spreads the shit, and they got a whole system based off of slavery. So the Arab slavery wasn't based off of the color-based thing. They did use some colors in that. And so you can see it morphing into that system that ended up in colonialism, bro. So nothing just nothing just starts off 100% this way. No, we can ease our way into that, bro. All right. So we can start with the Arabs and ending colonialism, if that makes you feel better. It's still not helping you with indigenous cultures. So once again, this is placed on the people.
What do you mean indigenous cultures? Everybody's indigenous to somewhere. What does the indigenous cultures mean?
That's what we're doing now. We talking about in Africa. Because the conversation was always about Egypt, or did you forget?
But how like we don't have writings, yeah? So
So you're back to where you started. You're using outside people again. That's what you said.
no, that's why I'm going to the earliest. I'm going to people that have writings. That's why I'm going.
Well, that's the only place you're gonna find it. So where else you gonna find it at? How are we to look at this? We supposed to do what you're saying?
What am I saying?
I don't know what you're saying. You're saying that you can't prove it. You're saying that I'm actually right, that we don't know, we don't have any examples of indigenous people using it. Then we can move on from the conversation. That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. You can't say, well, I know they did it because the Arabs started it and it ended in colonialism where they had the full-blown system. Okay, what? But what they got to do? Just say, yo, I like the fact that African people started racism. I'm saying they didn't. And you saying you fighting because they did. You fight.
Did I mention the word racism?
When you start making color distinctions and you start divvying up people like that. But I'm gonna tell you exactly what colonialism did. What they did was they grouped whole people.
I'm not even against racism.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not even against. I'm being honest. I'm not even against racism.
It's racist. Okay.
I just want to say, you have anything to say about the cult? Us talking about cults in that show?
Right.
Is this what this was
supposed
about?
to be that after show.
Yeah.
Rem Reese, do you have anything to say about cults? Anything?
Yeah, I said the biggest cult is the black church, man. That's the biggest cult.
Thank you.
It prepares people's minds for all the foolishness that they get into after. Once you can believe in the Bible, you can hold contradictory beliefs at the same time, and then you can deny facts. Once you have that, once you grow up with them kind of thinking skills, you can believe anything.
Where's the black
There's
church?
nothing that you can't believe.
Where's the black church located? I'm curious. When you say
Where's
the black church, where do we find this black church?
I mean, there's different black churches.
So you're speaking on all of them?
Hey, do you hear me, Juju?
No,
I'm speaking in general. Yeah.
You're generalizing all black churches as the same.
No, I'm trying to figure out where, like geographically, where are they?
Everywhere that's majority black.
Word.
Any church that's majority black, that's what I'm talking about. Because they're all promoting the Bible. So why would I need to make a distinction between them?
No, I had a reason wrong. I'm just curious as to how you were going to respond. We're not kicking nobody off. This just wasn't the topic.
Yeah, he's a total idiot.
I mean, it's an Unc show. This is Unc show, so we can't bogart. But the show wasn't about this. Like keeping it a buck.
Keeping it a buck.
Nobody kicking nobody.
Go ahead, read that, Juju. Go ahead, read that,
about
Juju.
this.
Read that, Juju.
The description of populations as white in reference to their skin color predates and is distinct from the race categories constructed from the 17th century onward. Shall I read that twice?
Yeah, read that again, because I just wanted to see how long it was gonna go, yo. I want to see how much of the crowd was cheering in the chat. I like to wait. I like to just let y'all do it, yo. Just see, to show you that y'all be susceptible to motherfucking calls, because you can bend words, twist the shit. We all know we've been talking about race, right? That's all we were saying. Everybody know that's what we've been saying for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Talking about the race of the Egyptians. We've been talking about that. Then they shifted the black color. Y'all play this game. Y'all setting people up to be marginalized and snatched up in some wild ass cult.
Yeah, I would just say I wish people would get that Soy Kiata paper and read that. And he speaks on this, especially about Arab culture, and what it really was. Okay, because they may have enslaved Africans, but they also had people of African descent in different levels of leadership. So, moving on. But the description of populations as white in reference to their skin color predates and is distinct from the race categories constructed from the 17th century onward. Colored terminology is occasionally found in Greco-Roman ethnography, ethnography, um, and other ancient and medieval sources. But these societies did not have any notion of a white or pan-European race. In Greco-Roman society, whiteness was a somatic norm, although this norm could be rejected, and it did not coincide with any system of discrimination or color prejudice. Historically, before the late modern period, cultures outside of Europe and North America, such as those in the Middle East and China, employed concepts of whiteness. Eventually, these were progressively marginalized and replaced by the European form of racialized whiteness.
We're talking about the whole racialized shit, and everybody want to change it to something because they think they got a fake win. Instead of us helping each other, not get caught up in cults. That's why I
Right,
wanted this long ass look, Juju. That's why I wanted this long ass thing with him. I know everywhere he already was going. I knew I would finish him off with this.
right.
It's just the wildest thing ever, man. And I say, let me sit back and watch how he play this. Because, see, that's what cult leaders do. They play this game like this. They play it just like this. And they
Okay,
trap us and they
okay.
make us think we know what we talked about. It's the crazy thing. Me and the sister read it. Juju read a whole thing. We read a whole thing on blackness, yo. And everybody act like we didn't. And it was serious work. And as a matter of fact, you can find that work on blackness. It was deep, right? Most of y'all ain't going to, I know y'all ain't going to read it, right? It was right here.
Do you have it or you need me to get it? Because I was going to read it for the audience so they
You
can
can read
go
it for the audience.
find it.
You can read it for the audience, but finish this. European, look, racialized. That's what we talking about. Is a racialization.
Yeah,
I
racialized
guess
I
whiteness.
mean,
they
how's we not
about
talking
that.
about that?
They guess
Huh?
they
Yeah,
ain't
no,
talking
I'm just going to give them the paper. I don't want it to, I want us to stay on
case
subject. I've
closed.
been over it.
They
'Cause
ain't
you already
talking about
know.
race. It's case closed.
But I just wanted to give you all the title of the paper. Here it
Oh,
go.
You got to finish this off, though. Did you finish this off, though?
So yeah, marginalized replaced by European form of racialized whiteness. Whiteness has no ending, no enduring true essence, but instead is a social construct that is dependent on differing societal, geographic, and historical meanings. Scholarship on race distinguishes the modern concept from pre-modern depictions, which focus on skin color, complexion, and other physical traits.
No, man. Come on, yo. Like, what do we like? That's why I'm saying, really. That's why I sit back. I say, stay out the chat for a minute, yo. Let them run crazy. Let them switch it up. And this is why we can't actually teach each other nothing. We too busy trying to win. When we all know what the conversation was. When people say, yo, the Egyptians is black, what are they talking about here? What are you talking
skin
about?
tone. We're talking about their skin tone.
Okay, you can't be talking about that because everybody already admit that they range in skin color.
I don't know what the argument is.
Can't be talking about that because they already admit that. So y'all ain't, why y'all fight me over something they already admitted? Why would that be a fight though, Juju? Why would you fight me that won't nobody recognize that they range from dark to light when you just read that? Did you just read that, Juju? Did you just read that?
Right.
Did you just read that? The first settlers in the Nile Valley were indigenous African people who laid the foundation
Right.
of the distinctive Egyptian civilization's first for 5,000 years.
Okay.
Is this the paper?
Blackness, yeah, it's
Maybe
off the chain. They start killing you with the whole thing he was saying. They start eating your ass, they start eating them up.
But okay, so the paper is from the Journal of Ancient Egyptian Interconnectedness, and it's titled "Ideas About Race in Nile Valley Histories: A Consideration of Racial Paradigms and Recent Presentations on Nile Valley, Africa, from Black Pharaohs to Mummy Genomes" by Shomarka Omar Yahya Kieta.
It's this book right here.
Everybody on this panel is black and proud. So I don't know why y'all keep saying that.
Hey, because they funny. Hey, like who ain't black and proud? Y'all just doing too much.
What is this? Yeah, just
Yeah, 12.
I'm
1
standing
point.
with Deborah Heard and what she said.
Here go look.
I'm standing with Deborah
What
Heard.
does it say, Juju?
Yeah, blackness in the notions of Africa. That's what.
What it say?
That's the
You know
particular
what?
part.
I ain't got
Blackness
nothing
in
else
the
better to
notions
do.
of
What time
Africa.
is it? What time is it?
What you mean y'all got nothing else better to do? What you
9:35.
talking about?
No, because it's an important statement in there, Juju. Remember he said, "Yo,
Everybody's.
they wrong." He said they wrong when they mix it up in there. Remember he said that when they like Black Africa is synonymous with Africans. Remember that?
Correct.
Yeah,
But
yo, he kept
we've
talking.
been
Yo,
saying that. Get
yeah.
away with that and get away with the sub-Saharan.
He was like, no, y'all doing too
Shoot.
much. Yeah, he was like, y'all doing too much. Y'all do be doing too much.
Been saying that. This is soy. I remember when y'all used to shout out Soy Kiata all the
I
time.
know
Y'all
more of that.
stop.
Man, don't shout him out no
Y'all
more, did he?
stop. Because he don't agree with y'all what y'all saying. But go ahead, make it up.
Right here.
Still waiting on y'all experts. Let me go. Let me know how I go trying to get the black ones too. Love them though. Gotta love them. But y'all let me know how that work out for you.
Yeah, it's gonna work out.
It is crazy. It is crazy to me.
Right ahead.
It is crazy to me. This fight to hold on to a racist term, one that was imposed on us, and spread it as if it was something that we developed and used. This is crazy.
Oh, in the work I just gave, it
Negro,
talks about
black.
capacity. Sorry.
Here you go, Juju. This is funny right here. We got him, Juju.
Y'all gotta get that paper.
We gonna get back to the cult conversation.
Yeah, but this is the cult. This is why people end up in a cult.
Oh man.
Do you know that, dude? Do you get that though? I couldn't make that distinction, yo. You get like I couldn't understand this right here. Look, you see it, Juju? Look.
It's a geopolitical racialized term.
Look, I couldn't even get it. Look, Juju, I couldn't understand this, Juju. Look, I didn't have this to read. What's it say?
Oh, the blackness and notions of Africa. Yeah, this is the soy
Go ahead. Look.
So it says the stereo. Did you want to say something first?
No, go ahead. I don't want to say nothing. Look.
So it says the stereotypical notion of African in recent times and phenotypical terms is usually linked to the trait of dark skin color, specifically that of being black, maybe being at dark brown. In fact, Black African, the problematic common phrase of use.
Stop. It's a what though? He
problematic.
Said it's what? It's what though? The expert, the one that's in the field, the one that's doing the work, the one that y'all claim is on your side, that guy. Why is he saying that? It's a reason why he's telling us this. It's a reason why he's saying this. And I'm telling you, I sit up there and we had the conversation with the guy today. And I say, man, they trapped me with my blackness. Did I not say that to that man?
Mm-hmm.
Did I not try to tell y'all that's what got me trapped?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Blackness.
It's problematic. In fact, Black African, the problem. Go ahead.
Oh, I had the wrong paper. This one is genetics of African populations. And this is Soy Kiata's piece, y'all. So he does several papers, but it don't agree with nothing y'all say.
You got it in your email. I sent this to you in your email too.
Got it. In fact, Black African, the problematic common phrase of use, is often, if not always, made synonymous with African in certain literature. Black and African are often incorrectly used interchangeably.
Come on, man. You know what? Do we got to keep reading this? I don't even feel like it.
That's why we keep saying Black is not synonymous with African and vice versa. Black is not synonymous with Africa or African.
Yeah.
Y'all wrong.
Read that again. Black and African are often what? Incorrectly used. Yeah. Interchangeably, and the cult leader get you. You should have put it right there. And that's where the cult leader gets you. With African having a particular cultural context through thought of as being indigenous in connection to a what conception that makes those. Go ahead, man. Read it again.
That makes
Black
those
and hold on, black and
identify.
African or what? Start over again.
I remember.
Black
Well,
and African.
no, I'll
Go
go
ahead.
back up. In fact, Black African, the problematic common phrase of use, is often, if not always, made synonymous with African in certain literature. Black and African are often incorrectly used interchangeably, with African having a particular cultural content thought of as being indigenous in connection to a conception that makes those so identify a part of an entity that was conceived to be isolated from the rest of the world.
Mm.
African in this case would seem to be used to connote living peoples with a particular phenotype, whose bodies collectively are the repositories of a particular genome. This notion of blackness derives from the received race concept and its taxonomic scheme, modulated through a tradition of stereotypes. When we finish, the irony here, of course, is that the region that encompasses so-called Black Africa is the same place that contributed heavily to the emergence of our species, which was likely assembled with ancestries from super-Saharan. See, why don't y'all do it like him? He don't even use none of that sub. He says super-Saharan, Saharan, Eastern, and Southern infra-Saharan regions. See, y'all need to do like Soy Kiata did. This is what he does. This is how he labels Africa for the people sitting in the back. Black has and is used in other Western discourses as a referent to various non-African peoples.
Oh man, it said what?
Yeah, Black has been, yeah, we talk about Melanesians, the Australians. He talks about them, the Aborigines, Dravidian Indians. Those are the people called untouchables in India, the lowest of the caste. New Guineans and Melanesians, who are also dark or black in color, were all called Black in the context of colonialism.
Oh man,
how many times we gotta say it?
That word better not be on here. I was holding.
I'm done.
Black has been and is using other Western discourse as a what? Man, referent to various non-African peoples. What specifically certain of those in a specific region and Asia. It has its own subjectivity. How dark must skin be? Yeah, how
right, exactly.
How dark must skin be to be called black? It is different in different places. Australia, Aborigines, Dravidian Indians, New Guineans, and Malaysians, who are also dark or black in color, were all called black in the context of colonialism. All right, I'm getting this off the screen.
Case closed. There you go.
Yeah, I'm done, yo. And everybody got the right. When somebody comes to start all this, say, don't do it. And I'm not. I just want to put all that out there, Juju. They act like we ain't read that a year ago. We read that a year ago. I know you remembered Cedric and all that. We read that a year ago. Like, right? We paid the book. Go ahead and spend your $80. You got to spend 80 to get it. If you don't got 80, you can't get it. You can't get it. Yeah, 80 blickies. It's 80 blickies. Gotta go 80 blickies over here. Gotta go 80. The blickies.
My thing is,
let me share my screen. Hold on. They think I'm playing. Look. They think I'm playing. Look. And so you know I ain't playing. Spend your bread. How much did that say right there, Miss Tiff?
It's $93.
Yeah, y'all not gonna never get this. Yeah, you're not gonna never get this. That's why I'm the only one reading this. Knock it off.
Oh man, I'm just saying, for me personally, knowing that the term is subjective, if you're non-US, non-Black American, I'm just not gonna assume that you want to be called Black. I will ask you, and I would do that just out of regard and respect and mindfulness. I don't see what is wrong with that. Is there anything wrong with that, Rimris?
Wrong with what? Asking someone if they want to.
Do you live in the US?
No.
Okay, so what if you came to New York? I'm in New York City and I happen to meet you, and then I hear that you have an accent that's not like mine, so I would assume you're not from here. And we're in conversation, and would you be offended if I asked you, are you okay with being referred to as a black person? Do you think that would be out of line?
I wouldn't. Is this a question? I won't be offended.
Right, but do you understand why I would ask that?
No, I would actually assume that you would already know. If
Well,
I'm being honest.
yeah, okay. So I do live in New York City, so I'm around different groups of African people from different countries, and not all of them refer to themselves as such. So my knowledge base tells me that that means that not everybody on the continent of Africa, no matter what their skin tone is going to want to be called that.
But you know, that's like you know some.
Dumb. I mean, I respect. I wouldn't just assume that that's the right way to refer to you.
No, but if you imagine this, yeah, you know, some African Americans, they don't want to be called black.
Right. I'm not talking about Americans. I'm talking about people that are.
But listen to the example that you gave. You said that you're in New York, and some of the African people that you meet there, they don't want to be called black. Yeah. So you're now extrapolating that to the wider African population and saying maybe not everyone wants to be called black. But I'm bringing it back to America and saying at the same time, some Black Americans, they don't want to be called black.
True.
Are they wrong for that?
And I wouldn't call them that. My sister Juju don't necessarily prefer to be called Black American. I do.
Yeah. See,
So I go by African.
yeah, I like African
I
American.
wouldn't refer to Juju as that because that's not how she self-identified. So I'm saying again, I think it's important that if I am interacting with people in the diaspora as well as on the continent, I think out of respect and mindfulness, it's completely okay to make sure I don't overstep boundaries, number one. I call them what they want to be called, number two. And if they so happen to want to be called black like me, then that's what's up. It's okay. Cedric already talked about his island that he's at, and he said,
hold on, Miss Tiff, show your camera. Let's see you. Let's see you.
No. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Look at Juju.
Miss Tiffany definitely ain't no black. When it comes to the color,
so
apart from that,
Miss Tiff say she like Black American. Juju say she like African American.
No, right.
I like African American. Look, I like African American.
Honey brown, that ain't nowhere near black.
Man, look,
So
man.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
I want to.
Hey, Juju, you know we come from a community to fight. Hold on. We come from a community to fight to say we African, right around Juju.
We do.
They playing with us right now, Juju.
I mean,
like,
if I want to put emphasis,
I want to land my plane.
Miss Tiffany, if I want to put emphasis, I will say Black African, but that also denotes that there are other Africans,
white
right?
Africans. There's some white Africans.
I don't know.
So we had to stop that. There's white African. White boy got to show your soul. It's white Africans now. I'm like,
so my point is, did you understand where I'm coming from, Rimress?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I would
but can I ask you this? Has anyone been offended by you calling them black?
You train somebody. Yeah, I go to Ethiopian restaurant.
Yes, I'm offended.
For over 20 some odd years.
Offended. Don't call me black.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
what the European called me. I'm an African.
I've definitely gotten stopped in my tracks. Callers referring to certain people as black.
Can you?
I've been here for over 20 years, remember, so I can't. It wasn't yesterday, but I just learned from that when I learn about who people are, that's just what I refer to them to. Unless they themselves are about that, yes, my black sister, then I know that's how they're cool with that. Otherwise, I want to make sure so I don't offend someone.
So what's the? I'm giving y'all this.
I never claimed to be an American. Immortal truth. I just said I don't call me black. I'm an African. If you want to say where I'm from, my region is the Caribbean. I don't make these claims, bro. Like, you guys crazy. And Dutch is a nationality, and it is a symbol of my colonial state, right? I have a Dutch nationality. I live in the Caribbean, and I'm an African by descent. I ain't confused.
We gotta get some people with our skin tones that don't refer to themselves as black.
And let's read Chef comment. If y'all trying to confuse what black is, PK. It's sub-Saharan African black. Now, I like what Samantha Kiata said. I'm gonna go with the experts, bro. I ain't gonna be able to use you on this one, yo. I'm gonna go with Samantha Kiata. How you say that, Juju?
Shomarka.
Samaka Kiata.
Shamarka Omar Yaya Kiata.
Oh, you made that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
that part.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that, chef. I can't use you in this one, bro. I ain't gonna lie, yo.
Yes, James. I did a whole scenario about I'm in New York City, so I meet Africans from various countries on the continent of Africa.
Tell them what you did for. Tell them what you did for years, yo. They think you're playing.
I was talking about
think you're playing, sure.
Pan African James.
They think you average like we average when it come to that.
Yes.
You met dignitaries. Hold on.
Up here.
Mainly East Africans, I can say, like when it comes to Ethiopian and Eritrean, baby, they want to be called the ones I've come across. They want to be referred to as Eritrean.
Yeah.
Or Ethiopian.
Yeah, Miss Tiffany was sitting with the African diplomats.
Let them know what you was doing, though. Let them know so they think you was playing. So they think you was playing, yo. They don't know that you ran one of the largest organizations. You had the crown on your damn head. See, they don't know that. See, go ahead and tell them. Just the truth. Why don't you tell them the truth?
She don't want to tell them, Bobby. Leave her alone.
All right, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone.
Let her go. She don't want them to know. She don't want them all in her business.
I'm gonna let y'all know y'all bluffing. Y'all ain't
they definitely bluffing.
For 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Y'all ain't wore that crown for real.
For real.
Largest organization. Come on, the crown. Shorty, we went through it. You want to go through it? Don't make me say it.
No, don't do it to her. Don't. But I will say that I did have a conversation. A Bior. You know who Bior is? A Gullah's friend. He's a continental African. He deals with a lot of the genetic conversations or whatnot. He got his own channel. So he has a Discord. So I talked with about 5 of them, and they're from different areas on the continent of Africa. You know, they're not from the same place. And we had this discussion, like, do y'all call yourselves black? You know what I'm saying? Is that a thing? And boy, oh boy, I think some of you African, Black Americans, whatever y'all call yourselves, need to sit down. Y'all talking about the people speaking for themselves. Well, yeah, they definitely spoke for themselves. And it's not so much.
Crazy, yo.
Not so much. They don't know what you're talking about. Again, it's the same thing I get every time I ask all my African friends this. Like, they don't know nothing about that Black terminology until, you know, they experience the westernized colonialism. You know, they either moved to Europe, England, Britain, or they moved to the United States. That's the only time that they recognize that they're quote unquote Black. Because other than that,
I think it's because it depends what regions of Africa you're talking about. Because there's different reasons for why people what we want to call back. But if you're talking about like West Africa, it's like the countries that these people are coming from. There's hardly any other races of people. So it's like their race never comes up. It's always their ethnic group.
Exactly.
So imagine everyone around you is black. You wouldn't talk about being black.
So there's no such thing as race. We are talking about ethnic groups, and exactly that's the point. An African American wouldn't necessarily know who their ethnic origin is due to slavery, right? Plus, those names were something that was given to us by the colonizer, right? So, and I think I prefaced my statement to say that these continental Africans were from different parts of Africa, not one place, right? I mean, I know a West African that'll tell you the same thing. Actually, 2. One is from West Africa, but he lives in South Africa now. I know a Sudanese that'll tell you the same thing. Where's Bior from? I forgot where Bior is from, but he's on like South Africa somewhere. I think he's Kenyan or something like that, or part of Sudanese. I forgot, but he'll tell you the same thing. They didn't recognize anything about them being called Black. 1, there's no need for it. They know who they are. 2, that is definitely a colonial thing. Point blank, period. Oh, he's Nilotic. He's a Nilotic African. Nilotic. Excuse me. Thank you. Nilotic. Extra syllables. I would throw them extra syllables in there. Oh, my bad. Yeah, but I mean, I already spoke to them, and they're young, and I was like, "Hey, would y'all get on the platform and speak to us in public about this? Like, let's just have a open conversation and discuss, what Black is, what it means to African people in the diaspora." And they were willing, so maybe we'll have to get that, popping, and then y'all can throw y'all 2 cents in and fight with the continental Africans about it, because I'm done with it.
No, I wouldn't walk up to anybody
just because they don't
and ask them about their color. I would never do that.
listen to this comment.
Go ahead.
Listen to this comment. Just because they didn't associate themselves with the term black doesn't mean that they weren't black. I'm done. I am done. I'm done. This is pointless. I'm done.
Yeah, it's pointless. That's why I'm like, it's okay. Like, there's no, it's not. We're not trying to convince anybody. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure if somebody sees me, they're gonna see me in their cultural context of what they see me. I mean, that's just. But just because I may see them is similar to me doesn't mean that I have the right to just impose something on them. That's all we're saying. I don't know why that's a big deal.
Man, they don't care, man. Yeah, it's a never ending. Because it's a never ending. They don't care.
I would just
care.
call a person what they want to be called, and if they want to be called black like me, then that's cool. I'm not opposed to that either.
Since they want to talk about Pan-Africanism in the chat.
Yeah, but Miss Tiffany, some people really embrace their colonizers, and the terms that the colonizers deemed fit to use for them was the superior one. So the colonizer said, "Ustedes son negro, you guys are black, so we're black." And we haven't been nothing else, Miss Juju. There was never a time in history that we would be nothing else, Miss Juju. We always been black. Master said we were black, right? So we really understand the context in which we're having this conversation. We embrace this, yes, but we never, on the continent, use this term to identify ourselves. There was no black people. There were this tribe and that tribe, in this group and that group. There were never black people. Like,
is tribe a colonial term? Is tribe a colonial term?
Got him.
Huh?
Yeah, why don't we just stop talking?
I don't know. Perhaps it could be though, because
that's just.
I don't think people was walking around. This is my tribe.
We don't want to stop. Yeah, we don't want to use none of that. We just want to look at each other.
So, I wanted to speak on this again. This is from our Galaxy and Beyond show, and this article references two things. So we're gonna kill a couple birds with the same damn stone, right? So one, it represents African agency when it comes to science and technology, and also women, since it is Women's History Month. I definitely wanted to focus on women involved in science. But there's one paragraph down here that speaks about the African Institute of Mathematical Science, which is AIMS, and it labels it as a Pan-African network. So not only does it do that, but how should it say it? It says 2,500 of these students are getting their master's program, their master's in this program, and 800 of them went on to be PhDs. And 1/3 of the alumni of this organization, AIMS, which is, again, African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, are women. So we want to talk about Pan-Africanism. It ain't nothing, not a damn thing going on, sitting on YouTube arguing about but it's stuff like this that I'm showing you right now. Okay, this is Pan-Africanism for real. When we talk about the Great Green Wall and what that's about to do, that's Pan-Africanism. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Like, if y'all want to talk about some for real, let's be 100. And this is 100. This is what it is. Yeah, I'm in with that. I'm not listening to none of you fools.
There's two people that want to come on the panel, and I'm just saying you got to cam up because you're new to the panel. There's an Eritrean that wants to come on, and then there's somebody else called Primordial Cosmic Energy. I got to cam up. We ain't doing that no more. Oh, you gotta turn on your camera before we can let you in.
See, immortal truth, I disagree. Pan-Africanism has to do with the work. An ideal is something that people can literally talk about all day long. And I'll be the first to say that I challenge some of the books and the sources that speak on it for a few reasons. So yeah,
Do you know this person?
go
ERI?
off with it.
Nope.
Me
Okay.
neither.
All right.
I don't know,
Get
Erie.
your own research.
Hi, how you doing? How you guys doing?
You doing good.
You don't want to show
Yeah,
your
I
face.
just
You
wanted
don't
to
want to show your
contribute
face.
because
You don't want to show your face, huh?
He could have did
uh,
that when he
I
was
would
on the
rather
thing.
not. I just wanted to participate because this is an
Okay.
interesting conversation. I think since
Mm.
I grew up in Africa, I think I would give a different perspective, probably.
Yeah, we want to listen. We want to hear it. Definitely want to hear your perspective.
Right, the homie.
Go
So
ahead.
the whole thing about black, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's anthropologically right. It's a political term, I think, to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Or-
Um, because like there are people in India that are melanated,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we wouldn't call them black, right?
Correct. Yeah, we
So I,
would.
yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
All right, go ahead.
I
I'm
think,
with you. Go ahead,
yeah.
man. Go
So
ahead. Go ahead.
it's rather, I think it's a, I wouldn't agree with it, but
Mhm.
if people are having trouble locating their ethnicity, it makes sense to use it to a certain extent, but
Mm.
expecting continental Africans to go by that label would be a little condescending, I think.
Mm.
Thank you. We
Mm.
agree.
Mm. Oh man.
Thank you.
What part of Africa are you from, by the way?
He
Just
said
so
you
we
Australia.
can
He said you
get a
Australia. Didn't
range.
Yeah, yeah.
he? He
Oh,
said you Australia.
oh,
Yeah.
Etrian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
look this up.
Man.
So my example being in New York, did you hear what I said about? I can tell you for sure the Ethiopians and the Eritreans want to be called, you know, who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't use that. They don't be trying to use it.
I think that's the case for most people, including African Americans, are also proud about it. It's not a matter of like this label thing, right? It's a colonial imposition, I think, and I wouldn't tell people. I would give people to self the chance to self-identify, like because continental Africans and African Americans, if they are supposed to cooperate and form alliance, I think they should be courteous enough to allow each other to define themselves rather than just, defining them, right? That would be the polite thing to do, I
Yeah.
guess.
Correct thing to do. Yeah. Yep. And don't think something wrong with you because you don't want to use it. It's crazy. It's
Right,
complete foolery.
yeah.
I use it for I definitely use it for my politics. Say it all the time. But when I'm talking anthropology, I'm not gonna use it. Social construct, right? We can go to the indigenous names and figure out who people are, what they are, what they're not. Then in the chat, I heard somebody say they didn't use the word African, even though the word Africa is actually a geographical term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because say for example, and like if you look at Somalia, it's closer to Yemen, the Arabian
Yep.
Peninsula, than
Yep.
Nigeria,
Mhm.
geographically speaking.
Yep.
Phenotypically, historically, geographically, these people are more aligned to the Arabian Peninsula than say West Africa, right?
I
So it's
would
like
agree.
a unrealistic expectation, right? Using the umbrella term African, right? It's a term that's misunderstood.
I think it is too. I think it is too. I just think it's a geographical term, right? To see where people is located at. And you know what I'm saying? And you use that term to distinguish the seven continents.
Right, it's a big continent,
It's a
very
big
huge, very
continent, very,
diverse.
very diverse.
I
Very
tell people
diverse.
this often. Look at it this way, right? What do, like, say for example, Egypt, Nigeria, and Ethiopia? These are like the biggest countries by population in Africa, right?
Yep.
In terms of population,
Mhm.
probably Nigeria is the biggest, and then Ethiopia, and then Egypt. If you look at it, those three countries, they hardly have anything in common with each other. The way they look,
Mhm.
their culture is different as well. So one is not similar to the other. So when we say this Pan-African thing, just that those three countries probably have like half a, I don't know, close to half a billion people. They're not similar to each other in terms of anything. Egyptians and Ethiopians hate each other. They don't.
You tripping, yo.
What do you refer to yourself as? They're in the chat. They in the chat going in hard on you, Erie. Am I saying
What
that?
is it saying? I'm not even reading like what
Don't
is it
read
saying.
the chat. Don't read the chat, yo.
Well, how do you refer to yourself?
I think my people have historically used a term called Habesha as a racial designation.
Right.
Both Eritreans and Ethiopians, and they have their own distinct culture, racial designation. It's all culture, so it has never been an issue. But like, I think the problem comes from the hardcore Pan-Africans, right? Who actually misunderstood the continent, really. Because they don't appreciate the cultural nuances within the continent, right?
Oh shit, I got your point. Yeah.
It's the cultural nuances that are the beauty.
Yeah, but like because Africa is like the most diverse continent, right? You find different races within Africa. You can find the Amazigh, you can find the Boer, the white South Africans, you can find the Habesha, you can find the Somali, you can find the Pygmies, all kind of people, different races. So how are you gonna like unify all those races who speak distinct language, who have a distinct genetic profile?
When you say that, do you mean races or ethnicities?
If we just utilize the term race for people who share similar phenotype, right? Ethnicity basically refers to like a history, right? I mean, like a culture, basically. Race has like a genetic component to it. So if we utilize the term race for people who are,
you messed that up. No, don't. Can't do that.
But like, I'm just okay. Let's just use the word phenotype rather than race, right? The phenotype, the physical characteristics, right?
Populations. You talk about population groups.
Let's just use I think it's more specific, like the phenotype. Say, for example, Ghanaians and Nigerians have a similar phenotype, right?
Yes.
Ethiopians and Egyptians were too, though, wouldn't they?
No. Ethiopians and Eritreans are basically the same people. It's just
yeah.
Do all Ethiopians have the same phenotype?
No,
I don't think so.
There are different races within Ethiopia, so
different
population groups.
Okay, sorry. I thought you like there are different ethnic groups within Ethiopia itself, but like the face of the nation is the majority, right? Just like anywhere else, the majority of the people and the people who are responsible for basically creating the country itself, those are the people who call themselves the Habesha people.
So what's the origin? What's the ethnic origin of the Habesha? Is it inside Africa or outside Africa?
To be fair, it's an ancient ethnic group, right? It's probably older than 2,000 years. Some would say they lived in the Arabian Peninsula and came later on.
No, what do you say? What do you say?
I would say that makes sense, at least because I think they were part of the Sabian Confederation, at least this ethnic group, right at the beginning. But that's like way back. So the question becomes, at what point do people become indigenous to Africa, right?
Yeah.
If you have lived in the continent for more than 2,000 years, you're African, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good one too, yo. That's a real good one. How long you gotta be in a place to be indigenous?
I agree.
What is your connection to Arabia or you have an background?
Yeah, I mean, like the Sabians,
Sabians.
Those are like, if you heard about like the Queen of Sheba, the Queen of Sheba means Sabians, the Sabian thing, right? I think also in the Quran it says something to that effect. Like there was some dam that burst and the people migrated to the Horn of Africa, like long time ago, stuff like that. But there is there is a linguistic connection, a cultural connection, and a genetic connection to substantiate that claim.
You mean where?
So
From
you
where?
consider
From where is
yourself
that?
Arab or African?
You mean the location, right?
Okay, at some point, like around say during the Aksumite Empire, the Arabian Peninsula was colonized by the Aksumites, right? There's that connection. The mixture could be as a result of that. There's also a theory saying that this ethnic group actually migrated from the Arabian Peninsula itself.
Some of the Sabians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are like old tales. At this point, those ethnic groups in Ethiopia, or the people who established the empire, are basically Semitic people. Nobody can deny that, and they have a strong connection with the ancient Sabians, because the only country that still use those scripts to write are in Ethiopia, right? So Ethiopia used their own alphabet, which is so sort of like a derivative of the Sabian alphabet, right? So there is a historical, linguistic, and genetic connection there.
All right. I just got to keep it simple for me, because this is not my particular subject matter, so to speak. So, do you consider yourself African, Arab, or European?
I consider myself first as a Habesha person.
Okay.
And that's good enough, I think.
I think it is too. From what I understand about human beings, I think you got the right to self-identify. And as a matter of fact, Juju, I mean, my fault, Ms. Tiff. Go ahead. Was you gonna finish?
And he didn't even say any of the three terms that I said.
No,
because you see, sir, like here's the problem. When I say African, it's not an adequate description, because within Africa there are white people, white European people, like the Boer in South Africa. They're the Berber people, who are like the North Africans. So when I say I'm African, it will be confusing to people. What kind of African am I? That's the next question, right?
Right.
I have nothing in common with the Amazigh or the Berber. I have nothing in common with the white South African. I have nothing in common with a Nigerian or a Ghanaian. Genetically, historically, culturally, no connection whatsoever.
Happy show.
But that's like.
So wait, you said that you good.
Go on.
Go ahead, Rembrandts. Go ahead, Rembrandts.
You said that you don't identify as African.
No, I don't.
Hey, Miss Tiff, you remember you asked me the same thing. You said, what would you say if a person living in Africa said they want to? Remember you asked me that the other day.
What? Say that again. I'm sorry.
You asked me a question along the lines. You say so. Because people say, well, they didn't call themselves African neither, correct? Indigenous people. And you say, so what would you say to a person in Africa that said they wasn't African? Remember you asked me that? You remember that? I was like, that's their right to say that. I said that.
You did say that.
Like, what? I'm not going to sit up here and, like, you heard what he said. Right, like, why would he have to say that? Why would he have to say I'm African? Why do we have to say I'm black and I'm proud? Why can't he just be Habesha like he said he was? Like, what's wrong? Like, have we become so white that we can't allow people to have their own names, yo? That's what I'm saying, dog.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm black and I'm proud, right? And I'm all above, and black African power and all. What that got to do with him? Why can't his people have their own right? Now, if we're talking scientifically, if we're talking geography, right? Then he's gonna say he lives on the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
We trying to figure out where do we go out on the world? We want to see where you at in the world. We want to catch planes to you. You're not gonna send them in the middle of nowhere. You got to tell us.
Yeah, and it's not even like just a matter of just allowing people to self-identify.
Modern definition.
But the thing is that term African has no utility.
I'll explain that. We learned.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have any utility to describe me or any ethnic group.
Oh, yeah, but they use a sign. They use it in
Agreed.
science and
That's
they
like
use it in
saying
geography.
that's like somebody saying I'm Asian, but you don't know whether they're from India,
Exactly.
China,
Right?
Taiwan,
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Vietnam.
one way.
It has no
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me say this though: there's no one way to be African, though. See,
That's right.
I, so I think the confusion comes in when we have this one monolithic African or monolithic Asian. See what I'm saying? See, we're not even thinking that way. We're not thinking
Yep.
it as one way to look African. And that if you're in West African, you're more African than the people in North African, and more African than the people in Eritrea and Ethiopia. That's a misnomer. That's not real. And real people who study the conversation would never say that. Just like you
Yeah,
said,
those
Korea, Asia. I mean, is in Asia. India is in Asia. Japanese, Chinese, and people in the Caucasus Mountains. They're all Asians.
Yep. That's a good example, actually. Perfect example.
See,
Man,
different historical, cultural backgrounds.
people don't care, yo. They don't have no respect for it. They
Yeah,
wanted you to
yeah,
come
man,
up
I
here
ain't
and
tripping
say,
all that,
they
bro.
wanted you to come up here and pump the fist. Yeah, I'm black and I'm proud. Yes,
Yeah, that's terrible. I wouldn't do like
yes,
that,
we
bro.
all black up in this piece.
that's
If
like
you would have said that, man, Erie, you would have been the man. Because you didn't, because you identified,
that
people
means that
identify. They mad, yo. I'm
people
just
from
stunned.
Thailand aren't real Asians. People from Thailand
I'll
aren't
say
real
this though,
Asians because they don't look like Chinese. So they
but
invaders. You see, these are the type of
people have a
terms we
right to
use. And
Go ahead, bro.
people have the right to identify or whatever they want. But I want to say two things. First of all, some of these terms are just like they're just like when we say someone's African, we just mean you're from the African continent. It's not. It doesn't really go into your identity as an individual, innit? We're just using it as a way to communicate that you're from the African continent.
But that's
Like what?
misleading. The point is that's
It's not
misleading.
misleading. It's not misleading. It's
Because
just
when
saying you're from that.
see, okay, let me explain it to you. When you say a word like African, there is a certain qualities and characteristics you apply to it, right? You have a certain idea
No,
when you say
no,
an
no,
African
no, no,
person.
no,
No, yeah,
no.
like
It
look,
just means you're from the
when
African
you say
continent. That's it.
okay, hold on. When you say someone is African, I meet an African guy, you're communicating directly or indirectly. There are certain attributes about that person, right? Some people
No,
expect them. Hold on.
no.
When
I'm
you say
saying
an
that they're from the
African,
African continent.
Let him
okay,
finish.
yes,
Oh, let him finish. Let him
doing
finish.
that.
Let him
so like
finish.
if like when you say okay, I went to school and I met this African guy or African woman, right? So you're saying people
Elon
expect them
Musk
to be because
don't with you
maybe they should be black or maybe they should be all share a certain sort of historical background or some, like because otherwise what's the utility of the word saying an African?
So that you know that you're from the African continent. I just said this like 3 times.
Okay.
Just
It's
like
just not an adequate
saying
It's
descriptor. Like
crazy, yo. He just
yeah,
said
but
we just read though. You know we just
there's
read that though, right? Hold on, Rem. You know we just read that, right? That I
what
know it's hard for you to hear what he's saying, right? And y'all do it all the time, yo. When you say African, you don't mean people in North Africa at all. They the invaders, right? Think about that. They definitely invaders, right? You got to be dark skinned to be African. I'm telling you,
yeah.
yo, when you typically think of African, you're thinking black
exactly.
African. I swear to goodness, yo. Like, hey, look, check this out, bro. They can clip what the
Yep.
hell they want to clip, right? Like, I'm too well studied to even get confused. I know how everybody thinks. People in that chat right now, if you say
Those
an
Arab
African
invaders.
is light skinned and got some blue eyes, you're gonna say no, they Arabs. So a person in Egypt, they can't
Yep.
even self-identify as being Egyptian if they
Arab
ain't jet
invaders.
black living in Aswan. They can't even be a damn Egyptian based off of this racial makeup in this particular culture. So I get exactly what you're saying. When you say I get it. And I'm gonna do you like a person did me. I was in New York and I was talking to a person from, God damn it, it wasn't India, it was Bangladesh. I say, so you Indian? He was like, so you Jamaican? I was like, oh shit, no, I'm not. He was like, oh, see, he got me with that. He absolutely stopped me in my tracks. My son was standing right there, right? We was having a conversation. I see from Bangladesh, who's from India. He was like, no. I saying Bangladesh, they know I'm not. No. He say, "Well, then you Jamaican." I was like, "I'm not Jamaican." He was like, "See, there you go."
How,
Yep.
that's not the same thing. That's not
Gotcha.
the same thing. That would be like saying
Gotcha.
that would be like saying
It is
he's
the
from Asia.
exact thing. It is
No, it
the
would be like calling him an
exact
Asian.
same thing.
India is in Asia, yo.
That's what I'm saying. So it wouldn't be wrong to call him an
India
Asian.
It could be
India.
offensive too. Like it could be offensive too.
Yo, he
Like say
got
for
me, man. Yo,
example, if you
he
go to
got me with
Bangladesh
the
Ethiopia,
is
Jamaican
in
shit, yo.
Asia.
Yo, he got me with it, yo. I'm just trying to show
Bangladesh
you
is
how
in Asia.
he was just
Exactly. So if you call him an Asian, you wouldn't be wrong.
He called me a Jamaican, bro. I tried all that. He said, you Jamaican. He was basically saying, yo, kid, don't you want to be what you want to be? He killed me with that, yo. Yo, listen, dog. I'm a talker. He got me. I'm like, oh, I got it. Like I immediately understood what he was saying, yo. I immediately
He
understood
is from
that, yo.
Bangladesh. He has a distinct culture. He has a
Yeah,
distinct
yo, he got me
identity.
with that,
He
yo.
has
He
a
wasn't trying to
distinct
hear that.
language. You look at me and you
Yeah, he
equate
wasn't trying.
me
Yeah, he
to
wasn't
what
trying to
you
hear it, yo.
know, and you equate me to something that I am completely not. So because you're black, you must be Jamaican. It happens on these panels. I'm from the
Yeah.
Caribbean, so
You
automatically
Jamaican.
I'm from Jamaica.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It happens right here.
Definitely from Jamaica, Cedric. You didn't know?
You ain't know you Jamaican no matter what you say.
But why are you calling yourself Caribbean then?
Caribbean is a region. I'm from St. Martin, which is Northeast Caribbean.
Yes, yeah. So
It's
what
a
do you get
region,
offended?
it's a
So would it,
geographical location. So when I say Caribbean, you go, you travel around the Pacific, the Atlantic Ocean, and you can pinpoint the region where I am.
exactly? That's the same thing with
Is
African.
that generally?
Y'all
The
say
same
y'all
thing with African, same thing with Asian.
crazy, yo. I want y'all to indigenous. I want y'all to indigenous people to have a conversation. Let us.
But I have one more thing before that happens, if I may.
And don't y'all
If
talk
I'm in New
over-
York. Hold on, can I just do this one last thing?
Yes, I just want to.
If you're in, have you ever been to New York, Erie?
yeah.
Okay, so this is what happens a lot in New York. If I like get a taxi or something, I'll say, "Oh, where are you from?" Like I'll ask that, and they'll say, "I'm from Africa." And then I always ask them what country because I wanted them to be more specific. So if you're in a place like the U.S. and many people may not have ever heard of Habisha, and they ask you where you're from, what do you say?
Okay, like I would say it as it is, like because like Ethiopia is like an empire, right? Like it has different nations and nationalities in it, right? So for me, Ethiopian is a nationality within Ethiopia because there are different.
Ethiopia.
Like,
if I say where are you from, in New York City, and you would tell me what?
I'll tell you like Eritrea or Ethiopia.
Okay.
But that itself is confusing because even in Ethiopia and Eritrea, there are Nilotic people who are genetically, linguistically so different from me that those people also will tell you that. So for a lot of for outsiders, it will become confusing what an Eritrean or Ethiopian is, to be honest. So
well, we wouldn't even know. We wouldn't even know unless we were educated. Would you be offended if I were to say, "Oh, you're from Africa"? Would you be offended?
Me personally, I wouldn't. But in Ethiopia and Eritrea, when they say African, they are talking about West African. So like
I got you. I get it.
Those people, if you are an Ethiopian or Eritrean,
I get it.
When they say like you look African, they're trying to tell you you look Nigerian, Ghanaian, or like West African.
Y'all be in that bugging. That's funny. That's a good thing to learn, though. That is funny to me, yo.
Do you know what it is, yeah?
I like that. All right, I'm gonna let y'all two
He's
talk.
not
Somebody
lying.
said,
That's
look,
a fact.
Tone $360 say y'all have lost y'all black mind.
You know what it is, yeah? So
oh man.
Hey, yo, that's a good one. I want y'all two people from the continent. What's up, Wavy? Hey, this we supposed to have. We supposed
gonna let them talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them talk. Y'all can't argue with each other. Go ahead and talk what y'all saying. You had a question to ask. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let y'all
So
talk.
Ank has been right this whole time. I've been listening to Ank. Ank got it. He figured it out like long time ago.
Yeah, and I'm black.
That's why you people should go to ethnic restaurants and hang out with ethnic people so that you'll be.
I have.
You know what I'm saying?
I have, and I'm. They thought I was lying. Go ahead, Rem. I want y'all two brothers to talk.
You know what it is, yeah? People have the right to identify how they want
So
some
we got
people, yeah,
even. Let me write this down. So y'all agreeing on that point. Y'all agree that
but
everybody got the right stuff there.
some people, yeah, they're using when they say that they don't want to
They
be
hide. Okay.
identified with as African or these things, yeah. It's not because they want to. It's not necessarily because they want to be identified as the specific group that they are. It's because they got some. They want to. They got some derogatory association with the people, with those people. They don't want to. They want to separate themselves from them.
Okay.
It's not always just because they want to identify specifically with their ethnic group. It's because the people that when you're the people that they are grouping them with, they don't like them.
Right. That's cool. I get so
They'll rather associate themselves with people from other regions.
What country are you from, brother? If you don't mind asking.
What?
What country are you from?
Nigeria.
Okay. So now, like, if you go to Somalia, right? There an ethnic group called the Somali Bantus, right? These people were actually enslaved in Somalia, and now they have their own ethnic group. Then they're still facing oppression in Somalia. The Somali Bantus. You can Google it. You probably know about this if you're from Africa, right?
Okay.
So within Africa itself, there is a lot of racism, tribalism, colorism, all kind of thing, right? So like you have to, like be cautious when you say like you. I agree with you to a certain point. These people divide themselves based on historical fact, based on reality. It's not just something they made up. There were people actually being enslaved for being Bantu in Somalia, for being you are probably identified with that, right? With Nigeria, because Bantu is like the family of the Niger Congo language, right? So people who are like Bantu language families, they also share a certain genetic and phenotype. So those people were, to this day, they cannot marry like the regular Somali woman, and there is an ethnic derogatory term used like a Jarer to describe the Somali Bantus. So there is a lot of racism within Africa itself. So that's
But
why.
the thing is, a lot of the people who have this ideology, they are of mixed ancestry, and
But everybody
it's
is
like this.
mixed.
No.
In your
But
country, in Nigeria, the Fulanis, all right, the Fulanis are a mixture of like the Berber and the West Africans. That's why the Fulanis have a certain a little
is
different
everybody
phenotype.
mixed? Is
No, not
everybody mixed?
everybody, not everybody.
But you
I'm not.
just said everybody's mixed,
No,
and
I'm
then
saying, like, say for example, most African Americans are mixed. They have at least 20% European, 5% Native American. That's a fact. In Nigeria, the Fulanis are mixed with the Berbers. So a lot of people in the world are like have a certain admixture. So that's just
all I'm
a
saying is that the
human.
people that have these, that they want to identify with these so there's people that have mixed ancestry in Africa, and they want to identify with them. They rather identify with the non-African part of their lineage. So they
Can you
have
give us an example?
derogatory views against the people that don't really have as much as mixture. So they want to distinguish themselves away from the people that are not that don't have the mixed ancestry.
I don't. If you give an example, we can go case by case of who you're talking about when you say that there are some people. Who you're talking about exactly?
For example, the people from the Horn of Africa, they have a lot of they have a
I
lot of.
suspected you would say that.
That's an example. We can go to North Africa. We can go to North Africa and keep, but there's the people from in the Horn of Africa in Ethiopia,
That's not a fact.
Somalia,
That's not a fact.
Djibouti. They have a lot of mixed ancestry from back migrations from places like Yemen. So
No.
a lot of the time,
I think your history is not correct and you're misleading people. But I can educate you. If you ask me about my own history, I can tell you. I mean, I
I'm
got
not
access to
talking about history. I'm talking about genetics. So I'm not talking about.
genetic is part of the history, right? Their genetic history. I can tell you about their genetic history, about those people from the Horn of Africa. If you're
So
saying
what did I say
Somali,
that was wrong? What did I say that was wrong?
you mentioned people's group in the Horn of Africa. Say, for example, you mentioned Ethiopia. Ethiopians are mixed. That's not a fact. What happened historically, what like I mentioned earlier, is like it's an entire ethnic group that migrated. It's not like some people came and populated the area. No, it's an entire ethnic group that just crossed the Red Sea and migrated back and forth. So it's not like but like there was like a way earlier, like back migration from Europe probably, but that's like 7,000 something way back. But like if you're talking about 3,000 years ago, about these people, the Habesha, the Sabians, it's an entire ethnic group that migrated. So it's not like some people come and mixed. No, because if you look at the phenotype for most the Habesha people, it's consistent. It has never been diluted by colonization. It has never been diluted by slavery. It has kept its history, its culture, and it's genetic profile for thousands of years, because there has never been uh, an invasion that
Of
diluted
what?
the genetic profile of the Habesha people, because they were the conquerors. They have never been conquered.
Who?
The Habesha people were the ones
In
who
Ethiopia? They
colonized.
never got invaded in Ethiopia.
No, they have always been the. That's what I'm saying. You don't know history. There has been a
Of course.
5 years.
I
Hold
don't.
on. There has been a 5 years occupation in the Second World War by Italy, and that is not colonization, because Italy just managed to control the capital and the major areas, but there
What
was
did the
still
British ever
fights
control?
going
Did
on.
the British ever control
No, no,
Ethiopia?
no, no. The British and Ethiopian Empire were allies to begin with. They have always
What
been allies.
did the British ever control Ethiopia?
No,
Reese, you gotta let him finish his points
Okay.
before you jump all over him,
I think the
please.
brother is like he doesn't know the history of the Horn of Africa. Even the Somalis you mentioned, the Somalis are not a mixture. They have their own. They are the most unmixed people, like who they're actually they're not like mixed with anything basically. You
Are you
can find.
finished?
So I don't know where you get this idea that like people who have a different phenotype from yours must be somehow a product of some uh, power dynamics in which an invader came and raped the woman and just changed the phenotype. That is your fantasy. That's not a fact.
Clearly you've got some woman getting raped. I talked about back migrations and people having mixed migrations, and I got this from a DNA study from the people in the or from the Horn of Africa. So this is not just something I'm just making up
No, it is
from
an
my head.
entire ethnic group that migrated. Do you see the possibility of that?
What's that got to do with what I'm saying?
The people, what you call the people who are part of the Sabian Confederate, right? Imagine them as an ethnic group back then, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. They crossed the sea and settled on the highlands of what was then Abyssinia or Aksum. So those people just moved an entire ethnic group. So there was no mixture then.
All right, cool.
You move
But
a
if you go to
whole
like a Dominican
ethnic
Republic, I think that your mind is going to like a place like Dominican Republic, or there are some islands in which there's like a whole social engineering took place as a result of conquest and rape, in which Europeans produced their own kind of a new ethnic group, a mulatto kind of ethnic group. That's not the case in the Horn of Africa. That never happened. Do you understand it now?
No,
I don't know how to help you with this, but I can tell you this: you can find mixed people everywhere. You know, like who are like individually who are people who are mixed, but Ethiopians in general, the Habesha people, the majority, have their own phenotype for thousands of years. Thousands of years. There has never been an invading power that came into that area, as far as history can tell you, because these people have been documenting their history for more than 1,000 years. They started writing 1,000 years ago, right? So they know their history, where they come from, who was there. Everything is accounted for. There has never been an invasion. There has never been a mixture of people.
Okay, I'm just gonna quote a genetic study of
Yeah.
published
All
in
humans
2000.
are admixed. They come into an area geographical.
Can I finish?
People
Can I
there,
finish? Can I finish quoting the study before
their
you? Can I finish quoting the study before you start talking?
Boy, rude. Stop being rude.
Brother
We're
Juma,
being
bro,
nice.
relax.
But
Yeah,
while
it'll
There's
be
few
interesting
things
to
in your
hear. Yeah,
study I actually
go on.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
Ortega is actually like a scientist, so he can help us with this to interpret the data.
All right.
it's called
We got the link. Go ahead.
it's called early back to Africa migration into the Horn of Africa.
How long
Okay.
ago?
Like,
How long ago?
Yeah, give us the time.
of what the back migration.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh man, that chronology gonna get you. What's it? What it? What is it? It should be right there. The time is right there. What is it? Got quiet on that. We're trying to come on, yo. It's in the article. They're gonna give you the time. You don't want to tell us?
I'm looking for it now.
Oh, okay. All right. You know you can put the article right here in the private chat too.
Yes.
I just say, yo.
We have been
But
looking
black
like this for
migration,
at least 3,000 years, so that I can guarantee you.
Oh, he said three. They gave you a 3,000 years looking like that. Ain't that long enough? How long do you got to be in the area before you're indigenous? That's a never question. Yeah, that's a wild one.
yeah. So what my brother's gonna pull up, right? He's gonna show the genetic makeup of that particular group, having being comprised of different groups of people. But at the point that that group of people has been established, whether they're people, small different peoples coming into and out of the group, doesn't change the genetic makeup or the phenotype. So what
Right.
you have is that other peoples will be absorbed into the group. You would see that in the DNA, but you would not necessarily see that in the phenotype expressed by that group of people.
Can I read the abstract?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Genetic studies have identified substantial non-African admixture in the Horn of Africa. In the most recent genomic studies, the non-African ancestry has been attributed to admixture with Middle Eastern populations during the last few thousand years. However, mitochondrial Y chromosome data suggests earlier episodes of admixture. To investigate this further, we have generated new genome-wide SMP data for a Yemeni population sample and merged these new data with published genome-wide genetic data from the Horn of Africa and a broad selection of surrounding populations. We use multi-dimensional scaling and admixture methods in the exploratory data analysis to develop hypotheses on admixture and population structures in Horn of Africa populations. These analyses suggest that distinct different African and non-African ancestries in the Horn of Africa. After partitioning the SMP data into African and non-African original chromosome segments, we found support for a distinct African Ethiopic ancestry and a distinct non-African Ethio-Somali ancestry in Horn of Africa populations. African Ethiopic ancestry is tightly restricted to Horn of Africa populations and likely represents Horn of Africa populations. The non-African ancestry in the Horn of Africa, which is primarily attributed to novel Ethio-Somali inferred ancestry component, is significantly differentiated from all neighboring non-African ancestries in North Africa, the Levant, and Arabia. The Ethio-Somali ancestry is found in all admixed Horn of Africa ethnic groups, shows little inter-individual variance within these ethnic groups. It is estimated to have diverged from all other non-African ancestries by at least 23 Ka and does not carry the unique Arabian lactase persistence allele that arose about 4 Ka. Take into account published mitochondrial and Y chromosome paleoclimatic and archaeological data, we find that at the time of the Ethio-Somali back to migration, back to Africa migration is most likely pre-agriculture.
Okay, so how long ago was pre-agriculture?
Oh my God. You ain't
That's
seen
way back, bro.
Agriculture. Stop
God
right there. You
dang.
know what that means? That's
Dang.
pre-Neolithic. That's over
Hello?
9,000
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
way
been-
back, bro.
Come on, bro. So you saying that
That's way
What?
back, bro.
What? Why are you saying that?
it's pre-agriculture? Yo.
That's an ancient.
Pre-agriculture. You
That's
know,
6,000-7,000 years in Africa,
that's
right?
pre-Neolithic. So they're saying that this black migration happened 10,000, 15,000 years ago. So yes, these people that are indigenous to that area have admixture that goes back 20,000 years. What's your point?
Yeah, but that's the
What?
reality that we always talk about. That we say that happened in the Nile Valley too. You got back migrations back into North Africa, going back 20,000 years.
I mean, Egypt has been a bitch, uncle. Like Egypt has been invaded by like more than 9 nations. I mean, like that's like a whole different story.
I'm just saying
Everybody
back
came and
migration is
conquered
part of-
Egypt,
yeah,
but that's not
that's
the
part
case in
of being-
Ethiopia and Eritrea because Ethiopia has never been exposed to that kind of invasion.
Well, my thing is that that's part of your humanness. Like if you start
Right.
taking out components, then you might take out a part that run your heart, and your heart you just die. You don't got a heart no more. It ain't got to be the skin or the phenotype. I want y'all to know that those genes doesn't have to express. Like you people thinking it's the skin color or the phenotype. That's not true. That's misinformation right there.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all just picking what part of the genome. It's the craziest thing. That's what I'm saying. It's all crazy and it's flammarish. And this is my point. The cult leaders
So
take
right
advantage of all
there,
that.
two
I
birds
need the
were killed
article
with
though, but
one
I don't think
stone.
you read that.
There is no group of
Yeah.
people that has no admixture. However, this admixture that we're talking about is over 20,000 years old. We cannot talk about invaders or those are Arabs. These terms are misplaced and completely incorrect. These are indigenous Africans. Their hue and their phenotype are not the same as West and Central African, doesn't make them any less African. 20,000 years, and that is back migration. They back migrated and admixture into a population group that never left. So how are you gonna say they're not indigenous Africans? I don't get these arguments.
Who are you talking about? North Africa.
He's trying to educate you. Like he's explaining to you how the nature of that, back migration is way back to the point where it's irrelevant to this to what we're talking about.
How is it irrelevant? Do you know that this article is saying that basically they thought that they knew where the admixture, the period of the admixture was about 3,000 years ago, but they're saying that it's even older. I don't. What is that? I don't.
Yeah,
what are you saying?
right. So we come to the same conclusion you are. We're saying the same thing you said. It's even older.
Can you check your
So wait,
email?
are you saying?
Even older.
Huh? Yes. What'd you say?
Check your email. One of the listeners sent something in that they want you to I
Which
think it's
email?
Feti
I know
Feti Kulanga
I know which email.
Abjuware.
All right.
It's a map.
Map showing the origin of ethnic groups and languages. Oh, you ain't locked it? No. Nope, I don't think so. Still got locked it.
I actually knew what you were gonna pull up, and the argument, it makes the argument, it rounds off the discussion. There's
Ah,
no
that's a good-
isolated people group. All people have admixture. However, you are proving that this admixture happened way before 3,000 years ago. So it is not based on an invasion. These people weren't usurped. This is how these people look for over 3, 4, 5,000 years. That's just a fact.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say, but you said it more eloquently.
So are you saying that? Did you say that these people are as African as the people in like West Africa.
Yeah, yo, come on. Oh, so hold on, stop. Let me stop this.
Yes.
Hold on. No. Don't
Yes.
say nothing. No. Listen. Don't nobody say nothing. Yo, say that one more time. Rem, say that one more time. What you just said.
I said, are you saying that these people? I'm talking about genetically.
Say it.
They're genetically they're as African as the people in West Africa.
Now, do you realize? Ari just said that, yo, about 25 minutes ago. That there's some kind of inference made when you say African, and you just proved this point, yo. You're saying that the
I didn't
people
make an
in West
inference. I
Africa-
read it genetic.
No. Listen. First of all, you made a race out of genetics. We don't do that around here.
I didn't. I said African and
45 million
non-African.
race pair. No. I'm telling you, yo, there's no genetics that can prove a race. We can't do that. That's ridiculous. It's talking about.
I didn't mention race.
Oh, you don't have to mention it. The fact that you think you're more African than another African is wild. He said, no, I'm not African because y'all got a Pacific thing y'all talking about when you said. You just did it.
No. Listen, that's not what I done.
Okay, let me ask you this, brother. Let me ask him this. What is the oldest independent country in
They're
Africa?
more Africans. He said they more.
No, I.
More African.
Can you answer the
No.
question? What is the oldest independent country in Africa?
I mean, that's subjective to me.
No, that's a historical fact. What is the oldest independent country in Africa?
Ethiopia.
Exactly. So are you saying you're more African than Ethiopians?
I said genetically. If you're 50% non-African, and I'm 100% African, I'm genetically more African than you. I don't understand how you. That's not a fact. Is that my opinion?
Nah, I don't know.
What?
I think
What you say?
If you're 50% African and 50% non-African genetically, and I'm 100% African, not more African than you.
Yeah,
Wow.
you
Even
playing crazy. Yo.
Wow.
Well, that's the point he made, though.
So you
stop
can't be
making this
mad if
point.
he don't want to call
You
himself
can't be mad at him,
the
yo.
concept
Like-
of African was not even created when that
Oh my
migration.
God.
There was no Africa back then when that happened. Like
Who's
so-
mad? Are you
Yo,
guys?
you killed the Egyptians, yo. You just killed the Egyptians is out of there. You Trends is out of there. You Ethiopia's out of there. You just knocked off half the continent with that shit. You got yourself into trouble. And I knew you was gonna get yourself into trouble, Tom.
What trouble? What do you mean? I don't even talk about Egypt. Like, what are you talking about?
No, what you just said, he said, yo, when you say African, there's some kind of inference there. And I was saying, let me wait for it. Let me see if he actually does it. And you just proved it. You was basically saying if you ain't West African or Nigerian, then you ain't you think that the people on the Horn of Africa are a bunch of mixed up people. Your eyes is lying on you, yo.
My eyes, or I just read
Your
a
eyes
genetic
is
study.
lying. Man, that genetic study ain't showed you nothing. You just got racist with the study. You just made it something that it ain't. It never was made to produce a race. And then you talking phenotypes, man. Them people been looking like that for 20,000 years. Like, oh,
When did I mention phenotype? You're just you're not freestyling.
I'm
No,
not, bro.
phenotype is an expression of a genotype. That's a fact.
Man, you just said.
Okay, let me read from this.
You said you're more African than him. Now we got two continental people living on a continent fighting over who more African than that. That's crazy.
No, I'm not fighting. Oh, it's just like this. Imagine, yeah. Somebody has a Dutch mother and a Angolan father. That's pure Angolan, yeah.
You don't got no. There's no such thing as the pure Angolan.
No. Okay, let's say someone who's 100% African, and both of their parents are 100% African, and one of their I compared that to a person. One of their parents is 100% African, and one of their parents is 100% European.
Mm-mm.
If we make a comparison of their lineage, are they both the same? They're both lineages, both the same amount African.
I don't understand the question.
You comparing individuals to populations? You making all the mistakes in this conversation, son.
All right, let me read it. Let me just read it.
No. Let me slow you down. Because you just read it and still don't understand it. You are talking, you're looking at some genetic data to determine somebody's ethnicity, their origins. This back migration that we're talking about has been happening before Homo sapien was around. It has always been happening in that particular region. Again, when you talk about back migration, the people that were here that never left, that group that went out, and they admixed with the people that never left, and they had offspring that never left that place. How are you saying they are not African based on genetic studies we are doing today? These people themselves didn't know that they were in the Levant. There was no such thing. This was just land. They were back migration. When we determine Africa, they have always been there. Their
When did
genetic makeup is relevant to the discussion of who they are. They are Africans, 100%. This is where this conversation started for me getting wild 2 years ago when Pan-African James made this same claim that a Somalian was less African than he was because of the Somalian's phenotype. Y'all are insane.
So basically, you're just gonna said that genetics has nothing to do you being African. That's what you're saying. That's what you just said.
I'm good. I'm good.
You just said that.
Yeah. If that's what you got out of that conversation, my friend, that's what you got out of it. I can't help you.
So you can't be mad if they don't want to be referred to as African then. Am I correct?
I'm not mad. I just said that. I'm not mad. I don't even. I said people can identify what they could want to identify with.
Oh wow, this is wild.
Yeah, this is how civil wars start.
Yeah.
But are you serious though? Like maybe he's trolling them.
Exactly.
But you know,
exactly.
What are you talking about? Civil war? What are you talking about?
From a Black American standpoint, and maybe some of the other diasporians, you know, we consider you all because you're on the same continent. We would definitely say, yeah, they're African, and then I want to get more specific. Then I want to know that you're a Habesha.
A Nigerian and the Habesha can never be like, they're far apart in terms of a lot of things, basically, even linguistically, culturally, phenotypically.
So when we think about the Asian continent, we can't call all the groups on there Asian. Is that the same thing?
No, because like an Indian is Asian, a Chinese is Asian. They don't look the same. They're not. They one speak Indo-European language, the other speak its own different.
Not even making any sense.
So we can't call them both Asian, even though they're on the same continent.
Call them anything you want. It would just be confusing. That's the point. Like for you, like in a layman term.
It wouldn't be Indian to me because I understand that I'm referring to their geographical continent, and now let's get into the specifics.
Okay, so is an Indian and a Chinese the same?
It's the layers of the conversation.
Yeah,
it's like me saying I'm from the Caribbean.
Right.
Yeah, when I say I'm from the Caribbean, that allows me to be from Trinidad up until St. Bart's and everything in between, right? Because that's all Caribbean. I could be Dominican, I could be Cuban, I could be anything. But when I'm being more specific now, I'm gonna say, well, I'm northeastern Caribbean. I'm from St. Martin, specifically the Dutch side of that island, right? Then we're being absolutely specific, and then there's cultural differences. There's our nationalities differ, the way we're educated differ, etc. Right? Then those nuances come into play. I understand that argument, even saying Ethiopia. Again, having been in Europe, I've been exposed to different ethnic groups and etc. So I know Ethiopia doesn't mean you're one people. There are different cultural groups, there are different ethnic groups that are encompassed within that piece of geography. So it's understanding these things are going to allow for the level of the depth in the conversation. I would never accept the answer, I'm African. Which part of Africa? That's my next follow-up question. And then again, which specific tribe? You know what I mean? But because I understand those layers, that's how you engage in the conversation. But to refer to a particular person as Asian would not be incorrect, because of course there are different groups that identify as Asian Americans, right? They're not being specific whether Chinese or Indian. They just say I'm Asian American.
Oh, very interesting conversation. What's up, Moon?
Yeah.
I tell you
Just
what I would say before Munju come
just
in.
to add to that point, because Africa is less relevant in Africa also because Africa is the most diverse continent in terms of people's group.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can say Europeans are more homogenous, like they even their culture somehow they manage to unite themselves. Genetically they're closer, but Africa is like the most diverse, so that makes it even more complicated to just use that term African, because there you find all kinds of people who are so different from each other that they like they have no connection whatsoever, and you cannot just put them under one umbrella.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I'm putting you under one. We're trying to put you under one umbrella. We're just saying, I guess, because we are not, because we don't exist inside of the continent. Just for continuity's sake, we will group people geographically, and then we will get down to the specifics.
Yeah.
Because at being in New York, that's what many Africans will say. They'll
Yeah,
say,
but like it could be offensive. Say,
and
for
then I
example,
will
to
say,
call a
where
Somali a Nigerian could be offensive. Like they will be really offended, some Somalis, if like if you call them a Nigerian.
do
So
they see Nigerians as being less than them?
because I mean, like
No, no,
imagine
no. Do
like
they see them as being less?
Nigerians eat albinos and puppies and bushmeat. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
oh boy.
Can you see? Can you see it? Can you see what I'm
Oh
talking about
boy.
now?
There we go.
Can you see what I'm talking about
I'm
now?
kidding. I'm
Listen,
I said
kidding.
that
I'm
from the
kidding.
start, right? I said that from the start, right?
It's a joke, bro.
and
I'm just
So do you
and
all
let's
see
be
Nigeria?
honest, right? Every group, wherever you are, there are these nuances, right? That
You
Oh,
talking
so
about
wait, so
exist
was I
within
right?
the
Was I right from the
different
start?
cultures.
Hold on,
nah.
Erie. Do you see? Do they see Nigerians as less than them?
Somalians definitely, because like I said, like Nigerians are Bantu people, right? Because there is a Bantu people that live in Somalia called the Somali Bantus. They are like they used I think the Omanis brought them to Somali as slaves, and now they are their own ethnic group, right? So they call them Jerer. Like Jerer is like sort of like the N word, right? It's a derogatory term.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you Google the Somali Bantus, like I think we should talk more about those people because to this day they're facing a lot of discrimination because they're because of their
So so
Nigerian ancestry, basically.
so you don't want to be called African, but you want to call the Nigerians. The Nigerians should accept you calling them Bantus.
I mean, I'm just using that term because I don't know any other word. I mean, if you have another word to go by, that's fine. Bantu is a
So
language group.
what's the other word? What's the other word for African?
I don't even me personally. I'm not obsessed about Africa. I don't give a fuck about
No,
Africa, to be honest.
because you said you're using Bantu because there's no of you don't know any other word. So
No, Bantu is a
what's the
language
other word?
family. There is a language family. It's a language. Bantu migration. You know about the Bantu migration, right? It started from
Yes,
Cameroon and
but it's a
Nigeria.
classification.
Bantu
It's a
people,
name.
yes, you're referring to the Bantu people.
Yeah, so that's one term we can utilize to describe people's group, and it's not offensive.
So it's the same. It's the same applies to the word African, but you don't want to accept it, right?
No, Bantu is an adequate descriptor as a language group, and
What?
there is like a correspondence in terms of phenotype and culture. So, language being a main pillar of culture, you can say Bantu people. People will know who you're talking about.
So hold
All
on.
right,
Excuse me. Peace,
now hold on.
everybody.
Wait, relax. Let me put this.
Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead.
something on the screen.
Uh
So
oh, y'all keep it.
we want to talk about West Africans as being 100% African. Okay, check. And when we read these articles, okay, we covering signals of ghost archaic integration in African populations, and we talking about the West African population here, right? So it says while integrations from Neanderthal and Denisovans have been documented, right, and people seem to think if you have this integration, all of a sudden you're less human. Y'all say it, I hear it all the time. right? We're talking about location, Neanderthal Europe, Denisovan Europe, right?
Yo,
And we hear people say they not, now that they got integration, they not 100% African, they such and such. Okay. Has been documented in modern humans outside of Africa. See, outside of Africa, and we fight all the time. It says the contribution of archaic hominids to the genetic variation of present-day Africans remains poorly understood. We provide complementary lines of evidence for archaic integration into 4 West African populations. Our analysis of the site frequently spectra indicate that these populations derived 2 to 19% of their genetic ancestry from archaic populations that diverged before the split of Neanderthals and modern humans. This is Kirby Finnan. Using a method that can identify segments of the archaic ancestry within the need for reference archaic genomes, we built genome-wide maps of archaic ancestry in the Yoruba and the Mandi populations. So does that mean that they're not 100% African because they have integration in their DNA? It's something we're actually missing. We're not understanding this. It's something that I'm gonna have to bring an expert on to actually have this conversation. So
Well, you could
while
actually
we're
use
talking, hold
phonology
on for a
on.
minute, brother. Hold on for a minute, brother.
Mm.
So while we're talking about 2 individuals born and raised on a continent, right? One seems to be more African than the other for some interesting. One doesn't even like the term Africa, right? Because it doesn't give him a descriptor of his culture, right? And it's a very complex situation here. But when we come to the level of science, right, we now understand that there's no pure nothing running around here. And it's a very interesting thing here. Political statements were made mixed with biological statements. DNA studies was quoted and mixing and matching. And it's wild at this point. James, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Because I know you're going to die. I know what you're going to do. You're going to, boy, I already know. You already got a pure African in your head.
I just want to ask Ari, like, the question that I asked Miss Tiffany to ask, that it seemed like he kind of scaved over, right? So I don't understand how we're going to play like we're illiterate around here.
No, you can ask me.
Hold on. No. When the first thing Ari said when he came on the panel that he was from Africa, wasn't that the first thing you identified and told us that you was from Africa?
I still don't deny that the country I came from.
No, I'm just asking you when you first came on the panel.
In the continent of Africa.
Hold on, excuse me. I'm just asking you a couple of questions. When you first identified yourself and came on the panel, first thing you said is you was from Africa, right?
Yeah, I was trying to communicate to you in a language you understand, right?
Okay, bam, that's cool. So you letting us know geographically where you from. But then when she asked you, was you from Africa later on in the conversation, you said you didn't want to identify.
Asked, do I identify as an African? I don't. Actually,
okay,
I don't even like Africa like that. It's a fucked up place.
Yeah, see, but hold on, but see, this is hold on, where you at? You must be in America or something. Where you at right now?
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's like America. Right, I don't like America. I hate America and be living right here. I hate America. You know how they say
where you at right now?
I'm in America, bro.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Are you gonna be her stop? Hold, James. You know we got black freedom fighters that hate America, bro. We ain't gonna
hate America. Hold on, no, so we got to get we need more context from Erie for us, man.
Yeah, I'm an immigrant, right? So that's
because I'm trying to unravel this. This is incredible for somebody to hate where they from. Like
really?
That. Now hold on.
Do you hate America, James?
Hold on.
James,
as African Americans, we have a reason to hate where we at.
Well, he got his reason.
But I love it here, brother. I love it here.
Yeah, he love it here. You see what I'm saying? But we're talking about us, though. We're talking about our experience.
Hey, why don't y'all switch places?
I
think y'all should change places.
He wouldn't last a
5 years at each other grandmother house and see how y'all like it.
He'll be back the next day, the next flight.
No. If I wanted to choose where I was in Africa, I wouldn't choose to go to where you're from. Based on my phenotypical features and my genetic makeup.
Oh, so you got
I wouldn't choose to go where you was from. I would go where where the other brother from, where
Rim.
Rim from, because I'm from West Africa.
You going
See,
to
I understand.
Nigeria?
See, I
We
think
from
we
Nigeria,
kind of.
yo.
No, we have a Jamaican people in Ethiopia. Like we love.
You know what,
like,
Erie? Let me say I respect you because you just really keeping it real and letting us know that about the racism and tribalism that occurs in Africa.
Yo.
It's real.
it is real.
Yeah, it's real.
Funny,
He's just not denying it, and that's cool.
Funny. That's a good one.
Yeah,
This turned out to be a good show.
Yeah, he's telling it like it is. Oh, go ahead.
We Pan-African over here. We let all the Africans come. The African American, Eritrean African, Nigerian African, all the cans can come to the community skeptics and voice their opinions. And now we get a brighter, a wider scope on what it means to be African or not to be African. Now we know the only pure Africans are in West Africa, Nigeria. We learned that today. Thank you, Mr. Rim.
You know,
Did I say that? Did I say that?
He said he's more
I didn't say that.
Don't do that.
I didn't say that.
Wait a minute. Juju, somebody, anybody give me a one if I heard that man say I'm more African than you.
That's what he said.
I never even said that. I never even said that.
He said that, but that's what he said.
No, he's
said
giving
that.
y'all got to
I said, listen, let me say what I said. I read a genetic study. That said that people from the Horn of Africa have a lot of admixture and it goes back very far, yeah? And I'm saying, if you go to West Africa, you don't have the same levels of admixture. So I ask you guys, that's the truth.
Yeah, it is true.
So I've asked you guys, if somebody has 50% non-African lineage, and I'm saying, are you?
I don't know. I know y'all understand this. Stop.
No, we don't understand it. We don't want to hear you. Go ahead. We listen to the indigenous Africans. Go ahead.
So if you got 50% Eurasian lineage,
okay,
and somebody in the Congo has 99% West and Central African lineage, you're saying those people, they're both the same African lineage.
No, let's make it real. And then the people in the Congo got ghost genes from an archaic species of human. Now what? What are we doing? That's my point. What are we doing? What are we doing?
But they're still African though. Their lineage is still.
There was no Africa when those things took place. Like,
what are you talking about, man?
Cedric explained that's 9,000 years ago.
Those non-Africans you're talking about, the 50% non-Africans you're talking about, didn't they migrate out of Africa?
Oh man,
no.
Exactly that too.
Why don't they have African lineage?
They migrated into Africa.
No, they can't. All humans come from Africa.
But why don't they have African DNA?
Let's do this. Let's do the chronology.
Why don't they have African markers anymore?
They act like they don't understand how this shit works. Excuse me.
No,
I don't mean to be personal.
We're talking about the mutations that happen outside of the continent. That's all. But
they pull that article back up. It just
Africa,
told you
and
right
they
there.
went
The
back
article that
into
Uncle's
Africa.
reading just told y'all, and y'all act like
Wait a minute. We're talking about.
Let me read it and break it down for y'all. If y'all can't understand,
you're gonna read the journal of science and break it down.
Pull that back up. Let me break that down. Evidently, y'all didn't understand what it said.
They migrate out. They originally from there. They migrate out and come back. Ain't there 100% Africans still?
No. Ask Erie, is he 100% African?
Man, nigga, you listen, yo. I'm wrong turn. Let me take scratch up from the record. If all humans are 99.99% the same, and just because I allele, a variation of a gene, right, or you know that the world is about to blow up, yo, that we actually about to fight over a mutation that occurred like 3 steps from Africa, something wild like that. Yo, matter of fact, humans don't even know what Africa is in these time periods we're talking about. He stuck his foot over the line. They had a baby. Suppose they had a baby. The hut was cut down the damn middle. They didn't know they was on the line. They had no idea. And they had a baby. They had sex on that side, and they walked over there and had the baby. like a mutation, yo, an arbitrary skin color, arbitrary phenotype, a little adjustment. Are we serious right now, yo? We is not gonna make it as humans, yo.
I know we may not.
That is wild right there. How? We got continental
You
Africans
know why?
on here.
This was crazy.
Not African. We got African American. We got Caribbean. We sitting here, yo, looking like humans. This is a great conversation for me. I like the variety here. I like see, and I told the African Americans, I say, man, you need to talk to other people around the world. That's the only way you can have a high level conversation. And you'll see your ideas ain't working on them. As a matter of fact, within Africa, their ideas not even working on each other. I'm more African than you. They got into that one. That was a good one, right? I mean, what's with the ghost genes though? They got ghost genes in them. And what? And
but hold on, the paper that Rim read said something about.
You know what, Uncle? He can take the African thing. I don't want to be African.
I got you right. So Ring.
No, he don't want to be African.
That's fine. He can say that.
But hold on, the reason why he don't want to be African is because he got you. Why? I'm gonna tell you, it's because he has Eurasian DNA.
Is that why?
That's exactly why.
He's more happy being American.
Because if he was 100% African, he would not have a choice in trying to say what he wanted. I'm telling you, you pop that camera on, Yuri. Pop it on. Let us see what you look like. See, y'all don't even understand how this works.
Yeah, no, we're not doing no bullying here. And the coin
I'm not trying to bully you because
arguably have
your
DNA.
I understand that it's fine. If he don't want to identify as African, that's cool.
Hey, James, he's gonna look more. He's gonna look more
based on
Egyptian.
his genetic makeup.
Using the
It ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just like trying to say somebody
nothing about who he is.
Hey, Cedric, I bet you Yuri look more Egyptian than James do. You want to make a bet?
Yeah, he would look more like a Ethiopian. But they are like 70%, but they're about 60 to 7%.
Yo, are you listening to what we saying? You tell that man to pop on the camera. You misappropriating culture. I'm saying he look more Egyptian.
Watch this. Just like Remy said,
camera on, yo. Let me see if you
just like Rim said. Rim said that he's from West Africa, and he said he told Erie that he was more African than him. Watch this. I'm in America. Hold on, Cedric. Watch this. I'm in America. I'm in America. I can say that I'm more African than Erie right now.
African because it doesn't identify where he.
So hold up. What is a genetic test? That's just some BS.
So yeah, you would have thrown genetics away.
Hold up, I'm just asking y'all because where we at with this?
Hey,
a genetic test is not scientific any longer.
James, so funny, if every time I say I'm from the Caribbean, I'm being confused with a Jamaican, right? At a certain point in time,
that can happen.
Hold up, you know how that can happen? Caribbean. Don't use that. Be specific.
You can be confused with Jamaican.
Why? Because every time I say I'm from the Caribbean, people say, "Oh, so you're Jamaican." So no, I don't want to be identified as a Jamaican because I'm not Jamaican. So I'm not going to use the term Caribbean because for you damn Americans, from the time I say Caribbean, you think Jamaican. So what I'm going to do is identify as a St. Martin.
Oh shit. I love him.
But you wouldn't be able to be mistaken.
It's that article that he brought.
Jamaican.
I appreciate you bringing this good material too.
If you didn't look like you look,
if
you were 70% Eurasian, they would not mistake you for a Jamaican. That's how it worked.
Wow.
I try. Hey James. I went to New York and I got stunned, in front of my whole family. I got stunted, I was like, yeah. You said you're from India. You're like, no. You Jamaican? I'm like, oh. He said from Bangladesh. I said, yeah, Asia, India. You're like, what? I said, I'm from Baltimore. You say, no, you Jamaican. I said,
that's funny.
That was funny, yo. He made me realize, I'm doing too much. He got me, yo. He said,
well, he said the wrong country.
What, Bangladesh? I thought Bangladesh was in somewhere near India. It ain't. How far?
It's a different country.
No.
If you said India and Pakistan, you might have more of a point, but
in the same, is it close?
Well, you didn't hear what said.
Is it close?
The man identified himself as being from Bangladesh. Turned around and said, "You mean India?"
Yeah.
But see,
Ethiopian. This is some of the genetic makeup
The terms that they use off
Yeah, the
English.
early back migration into the Horn of Africa.
Now watch.
Yes,
what is the date on
yes,
that? They say 2014 right there. Okay. So then when you read that, they're going to use terms like non-African DNA and African DNA. So what do they mean by non-African DNA and African DNA?
Let me see if
That's what I know. I know
you
what
don't know.
they mean.
What is it?
Hold up.
James.
I know what they mean.
What do it mean?
I
don't believe it.
This ain't for
me.
I'm asking y'all. Y'all know what that means.
I think you'll mess it up. Go ahead.
No, I'm not.
What is it?
Do we know what mean?
Don't say
when they in this scientific paper. If this is the paper that Ren brought up, it uses terms like non-African DNA and African DNA. So how are they using this in this scientific paper? What are they talking about? That's the question that needs to be asked.
We want to ask you.
No, I'm not going to answer the question for you. Okay, this is the question that everybody needs to know. What do they mean by non-African?
James, by the way, I don't hate Africa because of genetics or phenotype. I hate Africa because of the cultural inferiority. That's all it is. It's not racial.
Yep. See, I don't know what that means. You just went over there. Zoom. Crazy.
That's the whole.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah,
cultural inferiority. What does that mean?
Does that mean all of Africa?
All of Africa.
Okay, can you expound on that?
Yeah, because I think the disparity in terms of development between, say, Asia, Africa, and Europe, it's not genetics. It's a cultural inferiority. It's a cultural defect regression, basically. Because if you look at culture as a mindset, as a way of life and how you understand and do things, that's what attributed to the inferiority of Africa as a continent, is failure. Maybe it should be recolonized again so that it could.
See, that's deep. See, I told y'all it came all the way out on y'all show. So y'all need to end the show right now.
No, we don't, James. You go get your own platform.
Hold up, he said this right in our face.
Can you stop talking over people? Hold up, James.
Yo,
that is crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe for you.
I ain't say I agree.
You say that's crazy for me.
No, James, relax. The man said
I would love to understand.
I think it's kind of James. I think it's kind of crazy too. Okay.
James, I think it's crazy too. James, that's his opinion on his home.
James.
He said his home.
It's a fact, though. It's a fact, though.
See, James, we agree with you on that. You see,
no, 92% African.
I ain't getting
that
no
ain't my home lane. Hold up, let me ask y'all this.
Yeah, why James? You about 92%
African. That makes that's not my home lane.
You about to do the same thing, James. Hey,
this
James,
is crazy.
Do you love America? Do you love your home in America?
This is not considered. This is never
James,
been my home land. Hold up. The hell up. Hold up. See, we finna go through history right now.
No.
When has this country ever accepted us as real?
Do you guys don't think Africa is inferior when it's compared to Europe? You guys
we ain't talking to you right now. We on the whole American thing right now. Hold up.
We're gonna hold your statement.
We got to put you to the side, Eric. When has America accepted us as anything in this country?
Okay.
Hold on. They told us that we were 3/5 of a human.
They got the.
Oh Lord!
What didn't they tell us?
You going back there?
Then watch this. This was crazy about it. Y'all don't even understand that we have found out through genetics and through the genome that we are the only one that's 100% human. Y'all understand that these people have needs. These are the people.
Ari, I knew he was gonna do it. He got worse.
People like Ari are the only people with this other, and they're gonna have infinities for that stuff, and that's why he has the racism towards Africa that he has.
No way.
It's so he's telling you right in y'all face.
Okay, stop.
What's going on?
Don't nobody say nothing.
We don't agree with that statement, James.
I know y'all don't, but I'm telling you why he's doing what he's doing.
Well,
he's like 60-70%.
Don't you hate America? Don't you hate America too, James?
But that ain't got nothing to do with Africa.
You just did the same thing you just did.
Man, y'all need to cut it out.
Hey, you know
that
what
man said they need to recolonize Africa. Hold up. Y'all defending him?
No, we just said it was crazy.
Yeah, we don't defend.
Yeah, let him talk, man. I don't even because y'all tripping.
If you be quiet, James,
y'all be quiet. For the record, I don't agree with neither one of y'all. Got two wild statements. One says Africa should be colonized. The culture is subpar, right? And I'm treading lightly on it. Backwards, right? Then you say, right? So he moved out his homeland. He left. Then you say you don't like your homeland and it's backwards.
No, what I said is I understand my historical situation. Don't do that.
Bro,
don't mischaracterize how African Americans
ask you again
in America.
I'm gonna ask you again. As an African American family that is born and raised in here, yo, do you like America? Do you want to leave America?
I'm gonna tell you, not what it did to African American and my people. No. Why would I say yes?
Yo, I'm asking you. He's saying the same thing.
He ain't got no reason to say what he's talking about because Africa's in last place, as he don't know what the hell colonialism is did to Africa.
Bro,
that's what he's telling you. He's telling you he's historically illiterate. That's what he's telling you. So you don't know why Africa is underdeveloped.
You're not going to answer.
No, Ethiopia's never been colonized, but it's still
you saying you don't know
why? Wait. Yo, Eri, you like Haile Selassie, innit?
You probably don't like Haile Selassie.
That's what
he don't even know how.
James, so you're not gonna answer the question. James, you're not gonna answer the question. You're gonna keep doing that, bro.
Okay, what question? I told you.
I don't like America
based on what
you like
African American. Based on African American history, I don't like America.
He don't think America's his homeland.
Okay, it's not your home. All right, yeah. So
no, genetically it's not.
So then you know what, yo. You can't be mad at that man not liking his home. He moved.
No, I understand why he don't like
one of them. Won't you do him? He got enough sense to do something about it.
Yeah.
He's got enough heart to do something. I don't think he got the heart that man got. That man said, I'm tired of Africa. Said, shit, I'm leaving.
Nah, that ain't why he's over here.
America's
he got heart. Hey, he could have went anywhere. Ask him why he didn't go to Mexico. Ask him why he didn't go to Mexico.
Nah, James.
Leave America.
You can go anywhere America. Why he's in America?
James, listen, bro. He got more heart than you. That's how he feel.
So
you
now
feel the
he got
same
more
way he
heart
feel about America, and I'm saying, yo, when
you defending the man that said Africa needs to be
colonized
against it. That is crazy.
James, I think both y'all made ridiculous statements. I don't think his statement is.
You think my statement is equal to his?
You gotta stop screaming.
I'm saying you're in 1940s, yo. You're in the 1930s.
No, you got to use the chronology of history.
Who the hell can't understand how wild white people was in the 50s?
Right.
I don't even want to talk to you about.
He don't even like Africa.
In 1960s, I don't even talk to me about white people then. They was incoherent in what they thought they was doing. Don't talk to me. They was wild.
Man,
don't even talk to me now. What's going on now?
Crazy.
I don't want to hear no talking points in the 30s.
Nobody's defending what he said.
Can I add?
You heard me say 30 times.
That man said he don't even like Africa.
That's crazy. I don't think that. You don't like America. That's why it's
Man, that ain't got nothing to do.
Graham, you got to show because I'm gonna be next. I'm gonna go ham on y'all. I wanted to say a few things. Yeah, because y'all getting a little wild. First of all, it's not a rule that we have to have everybody on this panel that we have to agree with. Okay, that man spoke his his personal opinion or whatnot, and that should be okay for people to do. Keep on, James. Secondly, it's weird that y'all haven't been in other spaces to hear other continental Africans who may not be Eritrean say the exact same thing. I just heard it 2 days ago on Clubhouse. A young Black African say very similar, almost to the T of what Erie just spoke of about Africa. So I don't know why y'all act so surprised. Lots of continental Africans share that sentiment. That's point blank, period.
When you say Black African, Juju, what do you like? Where was he from? Where was she from?
I'm not sure. I want to say West Africa.
Okay.
I'm not sure though, but
okay.
A lot of I'm using Black as a political term as we would in the United States. I'll preface my statements, but a lot of continental Africans who would be identified as Black in this country, I have heard share that sentiment. So, I just think it's weird that y'all want to get up here and act so surprised. Maybe that's the importance of
maybe that is the importance of getting out and
in the world.
in the world
Yeah.
with other people and
World,
people groups and hear what their thoughts and their ideologies and their concerns are. Being stuck on the quote unquote conscious community, just in YouTube on certain platforms kind of has, your mind stifled on what, people are doing or, how people actually be peopling. You get what I'm saying? So that's all. And so,
I mean, like, just to add to your point, that what you said is absolutely right. And it's 2024, and you guys seriously don't know that Africans are retarded. I mean, like, really.
See, that's crazy.
I wouldn't.
I don't understand what's
You
wrong
Let him
with y'all.
finish.
Y'all
Let him
just
finish.
sitting up
Let
there
him finish.
saying it, huh?
James,
You
can
just
you
let him have his
Bill?
damn
I'm gonna mute him.
opinion.
I'm gonna mute
James,
you.
chill.
I'm gonna
Y'all
mute
out
you.
of control.
Oh, I'm sitting up here. You know what? That was a little. Yeah, that was a little extra.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
maybe
a
that's
whole
not the word.
continent of people are
I mean,
retarded. That's
well,
wild.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah,
That's out of
it's
order. Yeah,
It's not order.
Okay,
It's
let
not
me
Not so
rephrase
much.
then.
It's not so
Okay,
much
You gotta
African.
take that
No,
back.
I think you
Man.
said enough.
let me rephrase then. Right.
Now, how you
Yeah,
meant
use
what
the
you
right
meant.
word.
He
You
already
said
slipped
it.
that through.
I-
Now, now,
what I'm
so
saying,
you wouldn't.
in
see,
a
now,
nutshell,
man,
I ain't
hey
gonna
man,
sit there
peace,
last
y'all.
time.
I can't take it.
I mean,
No,
I
out.
you
just
got. Hey,
showed.
Pan, we need you, Pan. Ab. You gotta defend that. We ain't
Wait a
on this
minute.
What
side
would
with
y'all
that.
act like y'all want to keep the gloves
God,
on?
Lee.
No, I ain't keeping no
Yeah,
gloves.
but you don't got no order, James. You all
Will you
over the
shut the
place.
hell up
No,
for a
no, I'm not all
second?
over
Be
the place. I'm
quiet.
just
James,
amazed.
No,
that
no,
y'all-
be
man, let the
quiet.
man say
You're
what he
amazed
say.
at what?
God
No,
damn.
y'all trying to tell me to chill.
Yeah,
But this man,
chill.
I ain't telling you, he
this
quiet.
man
He's
is
somebody
saying
that
all
keep
type
quiet.
off the
Christ,
wall
bro.
type. I don't even
So,
understand what like.
Hey, you're
So-
not even from Africa.
So
You
first
wouldn't
of
know
all,
What do you
what's
mean I'm
going
not
on in
from
Africa,
Africa?
James.
Hold on, see, this what I'm talking about.
Nah, you don't need. No,
You
you
say,
watch
hold
Africa
on,
from a
hold
book.
on,
You
chill,
tripping.
Wow.
chill,
No, I'm
chill,
not chilling,
just
bro.
chill, just
No, I'm
chill,
not
just
going to chill right now.
nah,
please
we on our
chill,
panel.
bro.
We ain't gotta chill.
You
You
don't
gotta
gotta
chill.
You gotta relax.
Hold
for a
up, this
minute.
man just told me I'm
Go
not
do
from
that
Africa.
over your
Hold
panel.
on, this what
You're
he
not
told
from
me.
Africa, James.
Man, do you
Shit.
know I'm 91.8% African genetically?
Genetically,
And the
How
rest
do
is
now watch
Neanderthal
this?
DNA.
How
And the
is
rest is
everybody? Hold up, now
Neanderthal
watch this.
DNA.
So you
How
more
are we
African than that
treated?
man.
Hold up. Y'all
up,
act like
DT?
y'all don't know African
do you speak
American
any
history.
African language, James?
So
James, do you speak any African language?
that ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't even in
Jumbo.
this conversation. How
You
are
speak
the
African
African
language. I thought
Americans?
you speak Semitic
How are
language.
the African Americans treated
Yeah,
in
man.
America? How we been treated in this
Ram, where you
country
at, Ram?
historically? Let's act like we
I don't
forgot
know,
that.
man. I'm
No,
tired of
Is a
Let's act
Semite?
like,
Are you a
let's
Semite?
please act like y'all
Are you a
forgot that.
Semite?
So
Terry, are
can
you
I
a Semite?
finish?
Of course I am.
Y'all don't know
Jim,
nothing
shut
about
the hell
slavery or
up.
none of this stuff
Can
that
I
happened to
address
us. Huh?
I
Erie?
really not about
Can I
slavery.
please
Every
address Erie?
every's a Semite. That's why he
Can you
doesn't
be
like
quiet?
Africa. He's a
Can I
Semite.
please
It's
address
some-
Erie? Can I?
Next,
Without
Yeah, I
causing
already knew he a
interruption.
Muslim. I didn't even
I'm
want to
gonna put
ask
him
him
down.
that.
You know
Hey,
what?
Rim, I didn't even want to ask him that. I know he.
Is this?
Remy, you gonna get knocked off too? Like niggas, are y'all serious?
I put him down so you can talk, sis.
Jesus
Go ahead.
Christ! Oh my God! So, Erie,
Yeah.
yeah, we hear you. We don't agree with you, and so you're just saying because I really want to understand your train of thought.
That's
As
fair.
far like, so are you saying that they're just like that innately,
In your
or is there
country?
something that could have a tribute to quote unquote the
Tell him
demise?
stick to his
Which
country.
Okay, let me.
I don't feel like there's any demise
Okay.
because I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna land because I just put up an article from the Journal of Nature speaking on Africa and its scientific endeavors and how they're impacting that, which is a good thing, in spite of the colonization and the religious indoctrination or whatnot. But I'm listening.
Yeah, I think a racist person would say Africans are genetically inferior, right? That's not correct. I don't
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
God.
I would agree, though, their culture is inferior.
Start with your country.
Yes,
Keep it clear.
every country in Africa, even
We just
modern
want to
day.
talk about your country. We don't want to talk about places you ain't been. We talking about your country. Do you feel your country is inferior culturally?
Yes, compared to relative to Europe, very, very.
Why are you comparing it to Europe, though? Is that the standard? Is that the
Of course.
template?
I mean, like you and me are able to communicate using this technology invented by white people, white European, right? So
Okay. All right, go ahead.
That is what I call a superior culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will also say that white people couldn't have gotten to that step of inventing the superior culture without the steps that it took in Africa first.
No, that's not true. Because they had the technology to navigate to come to us. When were we? Like when they were exploring the world.
Oh,
Probably
you mean
hang
why? Okay, go ahead. I'll
so
let you
like it
finish.
is a technology to build huge ships, military technology to
Hmm.
come and civilize. You know, there are some native tribes called the civilized tribes, right?
No,
So
no,
they
stay on the goal. Don't move the goalpost.
so
Don't deviate from
not
the.
only they explored the known world,
Mm-hmm.
but they also cultivated and civilized it, right? So that's what I call superior.
And freeze yourself. Freeze yourself right there.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just finish real quick. So one,
Don't fight that battle, Juju. You don't got to.
no. I gotta. This is weird.
Swear you
So,
don't
so
fight the
now,
battle.
now, let me just say something because that's wild with the exploration. You would think like on a continent that you have everything as far as necessity of life that you wouldn't necessarily have to go out and explore for certain things. Ship cultivation wasn't so much the ships; it was more or less the cell technology, and we could say that's pretty much just the Portuguese, but there's some evidence to say that they got some help from the Asians with that one. Um, Secondly, I was gonna make another point, but you
Let me
said no to as far as the technology that so you went from the technology to be on computers to Europeans be able to build ships and what is
The
that?
industrial
To
revolution.
perfect cell technology. That's it. It wasn't even about so-called just the shipbuilding. It was the cell technology they had to perfect. Did you know that, or you just thought it was the ships? Because they knew how to sail down the coast of Africa. It was getting up back that mofo that they couldn't figure out. You realize that, right? Like you knew that, right?
When I said they
Can you
built
answer the
ships,
question first?
and it's
Can
just
you
one
answer my
example.
question first? Did you know that it had to do with cell technology and had nothing to do with
Sail, SAIL, sales, right?
yes, sail technology,
Right.
sailing, what they used before they got steam engines. Did you
Yeah.
know that, Erie? Yes
Okay.
or no? Yes or
Okay.
no, please?
Yeah. Sailing, right? Sailing is like navigating,
Okay,
right?
I'm gonna take it you didn't know that.
No,
You just thought
no, you
they
can
just
navigate
built
without
ships.
sail. You navigate
I
without
think
sail.
So
that's
yeah,
pretty basic, but okay.
All right, let me say this, Juju. Let me jump in. So,
it still took steps. That's what I was trying to get to, and not
yeah,
starting
yeah,
with
I got you.
Africa
But
as
I
far as
think you
science.
make the same mistake that the Europeans made, Yuri. And the
How
mistake they
so?
made, yeah, the mistake they made was that they felt like that everybody else was backwards because they didn't have the things that they had. So they looked at it as being backwards. And so when Charles Darwin set out, right, he had this mentality, right, that the culture was superior. But what he found out was that anything that the Europeans had, right, language, whatever, you could teach those indigenous people that, and they could do the exact same things. So he had to drop that. Another point, they didn't need a goddamn intercontinental ship to survive in their environment to get what they needed. Out of need, the Europeans had to leave where they was at. That's a fact, bro. So remember, we evolve, right, in our environments, right? And if it ain't no need for a train, then why would you ever build a train? Wouldn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't compute. So you making
So
that
that's the
mistake right there.
justification, but it doesn't negate the
No,
fact,
no,
though.
no. I'm saying, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm gonna let you know, right? That Africa will be one of the richest places in the world, right? All you gotta do is look at all the projections. The thing that's happening is in Africa. That's where it's gonna be at. That's gonna be the center of world trade and commerce. Moving that, trust me. And I'm telling you that it's not that the culture was inferior. There's a lot of things that took place, right? But I'm telling you, the Europeans, that was the thing that caused racism, was thinking that they were superior based off of this, and this. And then we recognize that that's not true. Why would you need to farm if you already had the crops growing and all you had to do was build a technology, right, that could actually, break down the grains, grinding stones? You wouldn't need to farm. Farming is back-breaking work. So it wasn't that you were superior because you could farm. That wasn't it, right? Whatever you needed to take advantage of the environment, right, you were able to do. So I'm saying it's out of need that humans want to invent certain things. So you're saying right now today, why is it that the technology of cell phones is not invented in Africa? Because it just wasn't. But there's
Why?
minerals because it was no need for that. Obviously, right? Get my point. So what I'm telling you is that that's not what make a group of people more superior. I'm telling you, yo, that's not it. You're gonna always fail on that one because that's the thing that's spurring racism. And when you look at it, it really doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let me ask you this, Hank, though. Can I ask you a question?
I'm listening.
Okay. If I can beat you up and take your lunch and subjugate you, am I superior to you or no?
You mean if you could beat me up and take my lunch?
Am I superior to you?
You mean with a gun to my face?
With a gun to my
Whatever, with my hand or with a gun, with whatever.
That's two
I
different
just
things.
beat
Not a
you
damn
up.
gun, nigga. What
No,
you
no.
want me to do?
No. I'm gonna. Not only I'm gonna take your
She
lunch,
messed
I'm
that
gonna
up.
take your wife. I'm gonna take everything you own,
Yeah,
and
that's wrong. That's
basically, I
criminal.
don't.
We're not gonna.
And I'm
First of
saying, if
all,
I do that, if I'm able to do
yeah,
that,
you would
am I
be a
superior to you or
no.
not?
You first of all, you would be a criminal.
No, I'm saying like
And yes,
this.
you have. Hold on. And yes, you do got technology, but the gun technology wasn't superior when it first came into Africa. Stone throwing was far superior, and them damn spears was definitely more superior than the guns. I want you to know that. All you gotta do is read the records. They tore their ass up because you had to load that shit. One shot, pow, and you got 30 rocks coming at you and 50 spears. Yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, I get your point. So I'm saying superior, right, is not the measure of humanity and survivability, though.
It is.
It is not. It actually is not. You think it
isn't.
is. It actually is not. You think it
Counterintuitive.
is,
Unless
but
you are a religious person who thinks like God is like probably reward you in heaven. What matters here is either I come at the top or you come at the top. That's it.
yeah, but okay. But you make the point is, so are you saying that the culture you come from is incapable
By
of
its record
developing
shows, yes, it's
so far,
records.
right? So far, right?
Yeah,
All right, so yeah, so Juju, I gotta agree with you that you do gotta look at the whole scope of shit, right? You gotta look at the underdevelopment, and you gotta look at just how it is. So it's up to each African government to keep moving forward, and they actually are though, bro. So
Right.
you just want the shit to happen overnight. There
And they
was
fighting for
colonialism,
it.
was shit happening. I mean, we can't act like shit wasn't underdeveloped, and you got come on, yo.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, but I don't think at no point do I think a poor person is inferior. I just think once given opportunity, they can
yes, he
change their
can't even
situation.
feed himself.
Yeah, but hey, but you're in America, right?
But I'm saying like in
So you
theory,
never went to places that don't got the same things.
Now I
I'm
want to
saying
ask, like, when
Take
you
it to the
theory,
country, yo. You be like, oh my
like
goodness.
okay, I'll give you another example.
oh, wait a minute, when you
If
came to
America
America,
wants, it could
when they give you
destroy
some stuff, though, when
the
you got
entire
here.
continent of Africa tomorrow if America wants it.
No,
If
you
you,
lied. That's not true.
they
They
can
couldn't do
just
that.
nuke it.
No, they couldn't. Now come on, yo. Then the shit have come right back to them. It'll blow off the coast, blow right back on them. They can't nuke the whole continent of Africa.
No, I'm saying like at least half of it. Okay.
Oh my
No,
God,
man,
you
stop.
okay?
Now you just bananas.
I,
You out
I'm,
your
I'm,
mind.
don't-
You've
I
been living
really,
in America too long. ADQ, he been living.
but I want to ask
What you
one
were
quick
saying?
question, and I'm gonna shut up,
But I
Ari.
mean, that's your opinion. I'm
So,
gonna let you have that, yo. As
so
long as
what was?
he put it on his own country, Juju, he can
And
have it.
then I want
I'm just trying to put it on Africa, though. I ain't gonna
Iosonic,
forget that.
and then I want Iosonic to talk. I think this is the first time he's been
That's
on a
fine. I
panel.
got
let him
one
get on.
last question.
Okay.
When you came to America, though,
Mhm.
Erie. So how did America assist you in your acculturation and different things like that? Could you share with the audience?
I love this country. Anybody can come to this country and
Did you
become an
understand what I
American.
said though? I don't think you
Can you
understand.
repeat it, please? Can you repeat?
Like, how did they help in your acculturation? Like, what were some of the assistance that you received from the United States government to help you acculturate properly in American society?
An opportunity to educate myself. An
Mhm.
opportunity, basically an equal opportunity, not equal outcome, but equal
You're not gonna answer
opportunity.
the question.
How you gonna do that? Because you inferior based off what you said. How you gonna
You're
do
not
it?
going to answer the question. Okay.
No, I'm saying like
But Juju, he's
I have
inferior though.
there's a strong community
Mhm.
from my country here that's thriving. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've
but
been
you
to
came
visit.
from an inferior culture. How you gonna catch up?
No, there's some aspects of my culture that I love. Like I
But now
love the
you
weather,
changing
I
it.
like
Yeah,
the
you
woman,
changing
and I
it.
like the food.
Changing it
But
a
in
little
He
terms
bit.
of
like
like,
the women.
But how?
The
Hold
weather
on.
and the food.
What
Hold
the?
on. How? If you come from an inferior culture, how you
Are
gonna
you
be
in
able to catch that?
Florida?
like aesthetically speaking, I like how they look, the women, and I like
White
the
women?
weather. No,
The
I'm
white
No, he
women?
saying
says
I like all kind of women, but I'm
All
saying
kind of
like there
women?
are certain aspects of my culture or people that I appreciate,
like
right?
some you appreciate some of it, some of it's not. All
Hmm.
right, so you okay, so
Mm.
let's let somebody else get it in.
But can we get
You get it?
Sonic in?
No, who was that? Who won? Yeah, was that Sonic?
Because
Hi,
this is
Sonic
the
was
first
next.
time on our panel.
Oh man.
All right.
Yo, peace all.
Peace.
Peace. Where you from, my
Um,
Sonic? What's good? What
He's a
part of the continent
continental
you from?
African.
I know I say what part. We're identifying what part because the Africans is getting it in tonight.
I'm from Black India.
From Black
Black,
India.
Black India.
No, you not.
Funny
Nah.
as Sonic. That's the homie though. Go ahead, I Sonic.
I'm
Go
from
ahead.
Somalia.
Okay.
Okay, from Somalia. Let's get in.
Get
You
it
clear
in.
Somalia. Let's go. Let's
Couple
go.
points. I did agree with Erie when he was talking about differences in culture,
Okay.
language, genetics at times.
Mm-hmm.
But he started to go into an inferiority complex.
Okay.
When the arms race happened with the Europeans, they didn't make the gunpowder. The Chinese did. Just because they decided to use the gunpowder to conquer the world doesn't mean they're superior to other people who were just minding their own business, who weren't looking for that. So
I appreciate that. Okay, can I ask you a question, my Somali
No, let him
brother?
finish. Let him finish. Don't
Yeah,
ask him yet. Don't ask him.
I
Keep going,
think he made
son.
his point.
He ain't finished. Go ahead.
you ain't got to jump in.
Go ahead.
Go on. Sorry.
Like I said, I agree with you for the most part, but you should have stopped a while ago.
Got you close to that cliff and fell off and bust his head. A little bit on the supremacist side.
But I like to
Hey,
answer
my
to him, though.
mic.
I like to answer to
No.
him.
I
And
have some questions for you when you get finished. So I want to see what
Yeah,
point you agree.
we had your back till you started
definitely,
having that
sister.
inferiority complex. Y'all. I had your back all the way up to that,
Sonic.
yo.
I want to make sure I say your name right.
I had to get
So-
on James' side with that. You know, I hate taking James' side, yo. You
Let me
made me
ask-
take James' side.
Let me ask some questions.
Let me make one more point, just one more point.
Go ahead.
Get in?
When it comes to the woman part, I find it a little bit disrespectful. When we look at Africans, they might not have the same resources due to colonization and whatever's going on with specific countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a person's not healthy, they're not going to look their best. So you can't go to a Western country where people are consistently well fed, they have resources that others don't, and then you compare that standard of beauty to them. And when Unc said the white woman, it kind of had a nerve. Like, yeah, could that be a point of thing that he's kind of saying that people who are closer to the white look are the beauty standard?
Oh, bro, I personally think
it comes
God
from
is
a
a
health
white
point of
woman,
view.
but that's another story.
But then if you don't say a white woman, when you take a beautiful black woman from the Americas and you take a beautiful black woman from Africa, at their healthiest, they're going to both be beautiful. You won't be able to tell the difference at times. So I don't know what point you're coming from. Like, you can look at Aaliyah to compare it to someone who's in anywhere from Nigeria to East Africa. She might have her own mixes and they might have their own mixes. But which standard of beauty are you going for right now? Like, to me, it just comes.
Not forcing me to be attracted to a Nigerian woman. I'm just not attracted to them.
That's your point of view. The thing is, your subjective view shouldn't be applied to everyone else. A Nigerian
I
woman
never
could
really
be just
talked
as
about
beautiful.
other people. I was talking about myself. Me personally, I believe God is a white woman. I love white women. So,
I'm gonna end it with one thing. Yo, Ari, you're a troll and a half, but by doing that, you're disrespecting yourself and your community. Your whole intellectual conversation could be thrown out the window. Tiffany, I'll just take your questions. Ari, if you want to troll, you're disrespecting the whole self.
Just don't be too sensitive.
Huh?
Will I
No,
be
I'm
able to
letting
get
y'all
him?
get them.
I got a question for Aya Sonic.
I'm gonna get him. Will I be able to get a chance?
Yeah, Gon, you can get them, yo. I'm definitely on your side on this one, Gon. You trust me with that.
I got a question
Definitely.
for Sonic. There was some conversation earlier about okay, so let me ask you the questions. Do you consider yourself African?
I do.
Okay. Do you would you be offended if someone said, yeah, you black just like me?
No.
Okay.
But can I add on to that so that I can be honest and not come off as like I'm giving a political answer?
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be offended because I grew up in the West and I kind of see who my allies and my people are. If I'm living in the continent and I'm surrounded by people with
You
dark
are a
skin.
Muslim, my brother. I mean, you are part of the
Oh, no.
Muslim
Interrupt them, Erie. Let them talk.
Yeah, we let you
He's
get off.
lying.
We let you get off crazy. You went crazy. You got.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be respectful, bro.
But I'm saying that's the truth, though. Like,
Yeah,
aren't you part of the
Okay, I'm
Ummah?
gonna put you down.
Can you look in the mirror and go troll yourself?
Okay, go ahead, Isa. Go ahead.
If I'm in the continent and I'm surrounded by dark-skinned people, I'm not gonna consider myself, let's say, black. That's a term that's being pushed on certain people on the continent.
Okay.
If you want to take that on, I'll do respect. Go ahead.
Okay.
The only reason why I would identify that in the Western world is when I look around, who are my allies? And the way I grew up and the culture that influenced me as an African growing up in the West is the Black American culture. So therefore, the music I listen to, the food I want to eat, the people that I want to be around for the most part, those would be considered Black people from America, North America.
Can we get the bomb drop? Can we get them?
Ask him a question?
That was dope.
Can I ask him a question?
Boom.
Who are you trying to ask a question? I got one more question for Ayasane. He said something about.
You gotta get.
Do you consider? Do you consider? So you consider yourself African? So you don't consider yourself different? Okay, I don't know how to say this. Than the Nigerians per se. I mean.
Okay. When
you know what I'm
different,
trying to ask.
Okay, the continent is huge. So this part, I'm going to have to sort the differences. Genetically, we're not, just because every dark-skinned person is not the same. Genetically, historically, linguistically, culturally, we're different. Take both of us and put us in a Western country, we're going to give ourselves that nod. What up, my Black brother?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Can I ask a question?
You gotta ask Uri. Put Uri back up here. That's what you ask and get him. He the one went ballistic. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I got a few, but I'd like to start off with, he said in Africa, he doesn't see himself as black or something.
Who said that?
Uri. That was Uri said that.
Both
of them said that. Yeah,
I am actually a Semitic. I'm Caucasoid. Semitic Caucasoid.
They said they call yourself that.
All right, so just on a quick one, I was going to say that I don't know if they ever looked at the maps or looked at the flags in Africa. They ever just wondered what the color black represent on the flags. If he never looked at it, maybe he should look and see what it represents.
Can I answer you quickly? When I'm in the continent and I'm in my country and I look at the flag, my flag is pure blue with a star white. So therefore, what are you talking about?
I said flags, right? I said flags, not only one flag, right? You know there are more than one flag, right? 54.
If you're American,
so let's not pretend you don't know about the other flags.
If you're American,
what do the black represent on those flags?
If you're American, why do you care about, let's say, a Jamaican flag?
Right. Thank you.
Listen, please. I just asked the question. All I would like you to do is give an honest answer. If you don't know the answer, I'll give it to you. If you do know the answer, please share it.
But why would he have to care about other flags? It's not.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking him. It's for a reason. It's
you gotta help.
Let me answer. I'm going to be very respectful to you, bro.
I just want to answer to the question.
I know where you're coming from. Okay, you have a straw man argument coming up.
It's not a straw man argument. Africa, I'm asking a question. Please answer it.
Okay, let me answer my way then. Okay, Africa is a continent. Africa is a continent. It's not a country.
Thank you. I'm asking you about the color on African flags. When you see the color black, I'm asking you, do you know what it represents or not?
Africa is a continent. It doesn't have a single flag.
Listen.
The countries have different flags.
Okay,
Isonic is not ready for this conversation.
I don't think he understands. Maybe he doesn't understand, or he's pretending.
Go ahead,
Erie.
Isonic is way far. He's not.
All right, so let me give you the answer. What he's trying to avoid is that anytime you look at it, so when you look at the flags,
which African country are you talking about?
And you want to ask yourself, what do each stripe represent? What do the colors represent? They're going to give you what the colors represent.
I think he's talking about Ghana.
Represents the nation. It represents the people. Black represents the people on Africa.
You're not ready for this conversation.
So when he says in Africa, that Mike talking over me and all that, that's because it bothers him. Because he either didn't know because he was ignorant, All he knows was trying to lie and try to ignore just not to give the answer. Because black represent black in Africa. That's what it says represents the people. That's what the black represents on all those flags. It doesn't miss one. It doesn't matter which one you pick out. That's what it's going to represent. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can Google the flag and look at the meaning of the colors in Africa. It's simple as that. It's not something I'm making up. He's from the continent. For him not to know that is bizarre.
Can I trust you on that, though, Ghana?
Because that's what colonization
Ghana,
does.
can I trust you?
Yes. You don't got to trust me. I just told you how to look it up and how to see it. Anyone can Google the flags of Africa and look at the meaning and look at the meaning of the colors.
Wow.
Just like when you say, what is
This
red, black,
brother
and green
truly
represent?
thinks Africa is a country.
No, I don't think it's a country. I just told you it's 54 countries, and I just told you you could pick any of the flags on any of those countries, and I told you that you could look at the color black on those flags, and they will tell you it represents the people. That's what I'm telling you. That's a fact. It's not something you gotta take my word for. Now,
all of them don't got black.
Let's go. Let's go. Hold on, I'm not finished because he said lies that no one else even objected to. Like when he said that white people made ships that could do international travel. That's a lie. That's misinformation. Doesn't know what he's talking about.
That wasn't ISO. Who said that?
They couldn't even have when he's acting like they're superior because they could do international travel.
That's a different person. You got to make sure.
It doesn't matter who the person is.
No, it does.
It does matter.
You know what? You cannot just be addressing somebody that didn't say that. You got to make sure you're addressing the right person. That was not ISO.
Okay, well, I'm not. What I'm addressing, what I'm doing is, I want black people that are listening to hear facts. So, regardless of whoever said it, when that false information came out about them having international travel and we didn't, it's not true. It's fake. So we want to clear that up.
You know what the natives thought when Columbus came to this land?
Right. So what he does now? Look what he does. Pull it up.
The horses were sheep, like warships.
Now talking over me and everything. Pull up the map. I said pull up the meaning on the flags and look at the color black. Look up the meaning for the color black on the flag. Is what I said. So putting up that is kind of goofy. It's like your elementary student or something.
I'm saying the flag. All the flags don't got black in it, especially in West Africa, where all the black people supposed to be.
Right.
They ain't even got black. They got one black.
You don't see the blacks in the flags. He doesn't see them. Okay. No, maybe you need to look a little bit closer. But that's okay. That's okay. He wants to object to it. All you have to do is you should be looking at words and not
pictures. You please put that man calm down, yo. I thought you was on the outside. I thought we was going to defeat him.
Okay, we are, because I told you what I said, but you didn't want to look up the meanings.
I want to look at the flag first. I don't even see that. I see two black stars in West Africa, yo.
Okay, well, I don't know why you're looking for
1, 2, 3, 4. Look. I said West Africa. Look, West Africa.
Anywhere in Africa, bro.
No. I want to go to West
anywhere.
Africa,
I said you don't
real
just
Africans
say West. And what you should be looking at now talking over me ain't gonna help you. But what you should be looking at is words. You're trying to look at the flag like that. You're not gonna
mute him out, yo. I can't even get over there. Get him out of there, man.
He's talking like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, man. Look,
so much information.
All the flags don't got black in it. First of all, then Egypt got black in it, Sudan got black in it, Morocco, all that. Really? So what? Man, you know what, yo? Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
I thought he was gonna dive in and get him and got us. He ended up getting us.
That ain't gonna work.
He was getting us. Anyway, the views and opinions on the show.
Right.
I do not agree with that. Letting y'all know right now, I don't agree with the stuff on the flags. I don't agree with Yuri with all that, right? But
I don't agree with nothing Yuri said.
Right. But I think it's interesting to have continental Africans explain their thoughts and how they feel. I think that's important too. Because we've been hearing all African Americans mess it all up for years.
Yeah.
Okay, Ank, just let me ask you this, brother. Like, just be honest now, right?
Just you're on your own, Ari. If you get jumped, you get jumped. Ain't nobody helping you this time.
Go ahead, Ari. I can't help you.
Are you saying?
Because you said you was inferior. I don't like being around inferior people.
Exactly, right?
For the record. I don't like that.
That boy.
Seem to be doing pretty good now. See? On that using that technology. So it's not that you're inferior. It's not that you actually come from an inferior culture. It's that the opportunity is there for you to get what you got. See? The opportunity.
Okay. Go ahead, Yuri.
No. I think he is. Uncle saying that there is a reason why they're inferior. He admits they're inferior.
No, I'm not admitting they're inferior. I'm saying Africa itself was underdeveloped. That's nobody even argues that.
Was underdeveloped in this context? Underdeveloped means
means the divvying up of resources, right? That's not even, we ain't got to debate that conversation. I don't even like talking about it. I like where Africa is moving towards now.
Okay, that's fair
Yeah,
enough.
I
I'll
do.
just leave it at that.
Yeah, but they didn't just all of a sudden not be able to compete. There was strategic. I'm saying the words wrong.
Strategic.
Yeah, strategic things that occurred on the continent of Africa, right? That helped maintain, and it's called colonialism. And resources was taken out, right? Shipped off to the other world. Embargoes was placed where you African nations wasn't trading with each other, and it's crazy. So I mean, we ain't gonna say that like that did not happen. That's like when African Americans messing up their history. It's the reason why we mess up our history, because all the shit was taken away from us, and we come up with crazy ideas and the
Like
hidden
slavery
history.
didn't happen.
Yeah, we just do the crazy shit, but I understand why. And I think sometimes continental Africans, right, can see the twig in somebody else's eye, but can't see the log in theirs. So I'm saying, yo, you got a blind spot, and you think that European nations are this and that and the other. When you just did the same things you claim everybody else did to you, because all nations aren't European nations. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Consider themselves Russians ain't Europeans. They do not consider themselves that, right? And their living conditions aren't all the same. So yeah, and you live in America, which is way different. So yeah, this whole human thing, I'm better, I'm that. It's not good, man. It's not good for none of us. It's not. It's just not good. And you make people like Ghana and them right. You make people like Neanderthal James right, and you should never do that. Right? We can just have a conversation. No, at no point was Africa ever inferior, yo.
No, the culture, I said, not the people genetically, their culture.
The culture is not inferior either.
You know, like to
Yeah,
this
the
day,
reverse.
they practice FGM in Somalia. They eat
Yeah,
bushmeat in Nigeria. They kill albinos in Nigeria.
yeah, they do
And
that.
there is not a
We're not gonna
single.
food
Hold
shame
on,
though.
hold on.
No
I can
food
give you
shame.
so many
Don't food
examples.
shame. We're not gonna food
Like
shame.
there is like no
We're not gonna
single
food
steel
shame.
mill in Africa, right? You can now find a steel mill. You know when Europe was industrialized, probably 300, 400 years ago. They Africans
Are
don't
you
still have.
serious though?
Yeah,
So
it's a
why do
fact.
you think they had the ability to industrialize? I mean, are you kidding me right now?
No.
He
Okay, the
playing.
industrial revolution is what, the 18th century, right?
Yeah, but why you think they was able to do that? Take a guess.
Superior culture.
Oh
No, it's
my
called
God.
it's called slavery.
No.
It's called it's called the global economy. It's called having free resources. So if Africa had free labor, yo, for 500 years, where would you think it'd be at right now? Right now, if we could just give Africa all the free labor they wanted, what you think? How would them steel mills and shit pop up? Think about that for a minute, yo.
Do you know about this
No, you
better
want to
than
get
I
away
do?
from that? You're not gonna stay on that?
You know what I'm saying? You know this better than I
Give
do about
Somali to give you Tria free labor for 500 years, yo. What you think? Free labor, yo. To
Nigerians
build
had
anything
like
they want.
more slaves than America. Nigerians enslaved each other based on the religion they inherited
That's,
from the
no, no, no,
Arabs.
no, no. I'm not talking about that.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm
if they had
saying where
slavery,
you're
why
from,
didn't
you
they
Tria. You're
industrialize?
from Utria, right?
Yeah.
I said give you Tria 500 years of free labor, 400 years of free labor. Are you with me right now?
Nigeria had that. That's what I'm
I
Why
telling
is
you.
this
I didn't
guy?
say
Can
that.
I respond, please?
Yes, you can.
Why this guy always talking about Nigeria when he's not African? Like he said, he's not African. Like why is
Yeah,
he
you know
concerned
about
about
that.
Nigeria? Like,
Are
It's a
you
strategy. I think
familiar
it's a
with
strategy, man.
what's his name? Damfodio, Sheikh Damfodio. He enslaved two-thirds of Nigerians because he adopted an Arab religion, Islam. Why didn't his country industrialize after he became a Muslim and enslaved two-thirds of his own population? That was free
that's it.
labor.
When was Nigeria created?
I'm talking about like the current Nigeria, which is actually 1960s, right? This is a by a British
No, it was
journalist created.
19. It was 1914. So the period that you're talking about, what time period are you talking about?
So if you're a Nigerian, you should know this person, right? Sheikh who?
What period are you talking about? Because Nigeria was created in 1914. And he just said he was enslaving his own
I'm
people.
talking about the Sokoto Caliphate.
Was that 19? Was Nigeria around then?
I just told you the name Sokoto Caliphate. The majority of Nigerians were enslaved by their own people. In fact, the British colonized Nigeria to put stop to their primitive ways, right? That's why the British colonized them.
How is it their own people if Nigeria, if the British created Nigeria? What are you talking about? Are you listening to yourself?
What I'm telling you, my brother, this is a historical fact, right? This Sokoto Caliphate, somehow they inherited an Arab religion and culture, and they started enslaving other Nigerians who were racially the same to them because the other was not
But you
Muslim.
said, but before you said there's different races and
This
names.
is way before 1960s, before the modern day Nigeria, the Sokoto Caliphate in West Africa, which is located in what's today Nigeria, right? So that in itself will tell you, after enslaving its own people, that country failed to industrialize. What it did was open up the continent for Europeans to come and conquer it. That's just a historical fact. You cannot get away from it.
You're not consistent with your definitions. When you want to say something negative, everybody's African. When you want to say something negative, everybody's Nigeria. Everybody's Nigerian. They're all the same people. Even though Nigeria doesn't exist yet, they're all the same people. But when you want to deflect from being African,
You know your own history.
Africa has many races. Everybody has
Do you know
unique
your own
history.
history? Like, do you know the history of Nigeria, my brother? Are you
You're not
sure
even
you're
listening
from
to what
there?
I'm saying. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. So, all right, let me talk about. I also want to clarify something that you said about Ethiopia. Yeah? You said Ethiopia had never been colonized. Yeah, Ethiopia was being ruled over by the Italians. Then
Yeah, it
the
was
leader,
occupied for 5 years. I
then
mean, I never denied it.
the leader was such a coward that he offered them that as they can rule over his people, that he will sell a portion of his land to them and they can rule over his people as long as he gets to keep the title. And the Italians told him, no, get lost. Then he ran to the British to come and help him. He went to go and hide like a coward in England. The British came and took over parts of Ethiopia for years. So to say that Ethiopia hasn't been colonized is just laughable to me.
I think
It's just
you're a little
hilarious.
triggered, to be fair. I think you're a little triggered.
What? You triggered everybody. I just ain't feel like
I'm saying, I
I'm not
think
triggered.
because
Did that happen? Did that happen?
the reason why I mentioned the Sokoto Caliphate was because Ankh was talking about free labor. It has a context, right? It's not to disrespect your people.
No, but you
You
didn't answer
understand?
me though. I asked a real good question. You just went
No,
off.
no, no, no. I'm not, if you ask me, I'll answer again. But like you
I'm gonna ask you
mentioned,
again. I'm gonna ask you. I said,
because of
suppose Utria had free labor for 400 years. Where do you think they would be at?
nowhere,
Okay, you know what?
because
Yeah,
they only had like, like Eritrea was colonized, Ethiopia was not. You can see pavements in Eritrea. You don't see it in Ethiopia, right? Why? Eritrea, like their capital is called Little Rome right now because the architecture is better. There are better buildings because it was Eritrea is more architecturally appealing because it was colonized.
Woo, he got some strong.
boy, your superiority
Yeah, I'm
complex
gonna go
is
give me some
strong, boy.
wine.
Like
I
the
told
shot
y'all.
jock. You got the shop jock.
The views in the view, the views, the
I
pop
mean,
up on this
God,
panel.
you.
It's not agreed upon by the community skeptic or the pseudo killers, just for the record. But
definitely
in
don't
all
say you
fairness,
agree with this. And
they don't
Rims
agree
just called His Imperial Majesty a coward. You gonna have to watch the lions now.
What was I lying? He was a coward though. He was. That's why Marcus Garvey called him a coward.
I just want to say,
wow.
Kane in the chat was right all along. Shout out to you, Kane. You warned us. You did put in a warning.
Yeah,
You
but I
know,
wanted to
Kane,
hear.
Erie. Yeah, I know. But do you
Did
know
I say
Kane?
anything offensive, Ankh and the sister, Miss Tiffany? Did I say anything out of line or like I just?
You did.
Maybe the white woman thing was interesting.
Maybe that
I
was
don't
a little
even
much.
care about that
Okay.
part.
But I will say this: we got a few other people in our community that say some wild things. I'm not gonna mention any names.
No, go in, Miss Tiffany. Yeah,
I'm not. I ain't gonna say their name.
Yeah, you ain't got to mention their
If
name.
you remind me, I'm just gonna say you remind me of something.
But this is why it's important to talk to people who don't think like us, right? As long as the person is respectful, as long as he's serious, I think it's good to have the discussion.
I'd like to hear. I
the things you bring, I think that the things you bring up create some great discussion. I do think that it can be very polarizing. So yeah, people are going to get offended and they're going to be ready to, fight over it. And,
you can't
because I had to calm myself down a little bit. First of all, I was trying to protect you low key. You feel me? Get it off, and then I literally had to jump out the car and do the stop, drop, and roll on your ass.
You jumped out the car, was diving out the car.
I jumped out of it while I was still moving.
Which part was Miss Tiffany and Juju? Which part was offensive?
No, it's not that. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. It's it's good to know different perspectives that also
cell phones made us superior. That's what got me.
Where we need to do a little bit more education. Not that we're saying we're teachers, but things we may need to, focus or point out on. For instance, like Chilembwe, he's very knowledgeable, especially, on things that go on in Africa. And like I was telling you, when we come to science, like that's a step-by-step thing. So, things could come out through serendipity, but a lot of times it was like one culture group sharing with another culture group, building upon that, building on this, like there's steps to it. You feel me? And he just spoke in the chat and spoke on evidence of carbon steel was made in Western Tanzania by ancestors of the Haya people as early as 2,300, 2,000 years ago by a complex process of preheating and things like that. So these are things that people would have had to know or built the skills and techniques for to cultivate other processes of technology, like just the bare minimum. You get what I'm saying? And you can find those bare minimums starting in Africa. Go in other places, of course, but definitely starting there. So to say that it's an inferior culture, I take a little bit of that. I'm a Florida Geechee, and being Geechee, that's Geechee Gola culture. You feel me? That is West African culture, and that is like a part of the overall identity for lots of African Americans. Black
Why
Americans.
do you think Africans were enslaved by Europeans? Why were they enslaved by Europeans?
Hold on, before you say that, can you look at the screen? Look at what Marcus said.
He sounds like
these two in a conversation. Yeah, I think that would be really interesting.
Can somebody answer why Africans were enslaved by Europeans?
Why? Because
man, why you want to hit that button?
So this is the thing. So I think that
that's a button to get them cussed out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go get some wine. So one, the fact that
do you know why they got enslaved,
willfully let people enslave us is not
your reason, yo.
Is not it.
Here all night.
A lot of people, for majority and a lot of it, those Africans were stolen, were taken. Other Africans perhaps selling other tribal ethnic groups, which we know that was common practice, not just in Africa, but in other parts of the world, period. Like that was human beings doing human things or whatnot. We also know that, what we call indentured servitude in most cultures is not the same as chattel slavery that Western Europeans imposed on enslaved Africans. So, I mean, we could talk in, broad generalizations all night long, Ari, but then it'll take a much more sophisticated and deeper conversation to really understand all the nuances and all the pieces to the puzzle that gives a clear, precise picture of history. That's
I think my concern is if you misdiagnose the problem, this thing, if you misdiagnose it, you cannot find a solution for it. That's my concern. It's not. I'm not trying to be right. But
you must know where you're at. See, we pseudo killers. Scientific literacy is one of the main solutions. First of all, I feel like science and history are equally. That is, if you're understanding history properly. So scientific literacy is a solution. And maybe you weren't here, but I just pointed out female scientists in Africa, female scientists who's managing a whole observatory in South Africa. The African Institute of Mathematical
South Africa was developed by white people.
Let me finish my point, sir. A Pan-African, labeled in the Nature Journal, a Pan-African organization giving rise to particularly African females and males getting degrees and fields associated around mathematics and PhDs as we speak, as the inferior continent that you say it was. And so I think, yeah, no, I'm
Hey,
not.
Juju, there's not nobody on planet Earth except people who have been void of understanding the whole overall continental history would actually think that because some bandits came in robbing and stealing, that made them inferior, yo. They wasn't inferior to the other cultures that was around them, yo. So that's not I mean, come on, yo. Like, you sound crazy with that. They was not inferior, bro.
Yeah,
They
it's
just did
I
things
think
differently. They just did things differently, yo. And
exactly.
I think
that doesn't
you
make them
guys
I mean,
inferior.
it took
define what a
Africans
culture
to
is.
teach
And can you
Europeans
have
how to inoculate to
Yeah,
save y'all from
I think
smallpox.
you are
And
inferior.
we
Hold
can
on, Juju.
go
I
back and
think you
forth.
are inferior because
no
you're in the fucking United States and ain't got enough sense to pick up a book to recognize that you wild out. And you done got on my damn nerves. Now I done reached my limit.